What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of No Mask Required. My name is Tyro.
I'm Zach.
And today we got another pretty fantastic episode for you. So we got 4 topics for you today. Number 1, Rivals. The most go-to game out there, better than Overwatch, you know.
Alright.
Anywho, we also got a little update in IronHeart. The ending, the last 3 episodes, the fantastic finale, better than the first half. We'll get into that.
Debatable as well.
Debatable. All right, we're going to talk about some Ultimate Comics. I guess someone of us been reading Ultimate Comics lately.
One of us got to, yeah.
I mean, someone got to read.
We
I'd
gotta-
rather
we gotta-
put it in
one
movie
of us
form.
has to read.
Put it in movie form, I got you.
That
And
is-
obviously, we got to finish off with Love Island. Apparently, there's even more content right there. There's more,
Oh,
more heat happening, dropping.
My God.
You got to get research
You
and
have
everything.
no idea. No idea.
No idea.
You know-
Man, I'm not getting Peacock for that, so you guys just fill
You
me
should. You 100%
in. Just fill me
should.
in. All right, so
All right.
first things first, Rivals.
Yup. They just
Season 3.
Yeah, they just dropped season 3. They had it's not necessarily patch notes, but it's the developers kind
Yeah.
of talking about what they're expecting the next season. Yeah, I didn't really care about that.
Hey,
There gonna be
two big things. One big thing, really.
No, 2 big things.
No, just one.
Jean
Blade.
Grey.
Just the one. You saw her
Jean
in
Grey.
her video? Man, listen. She had like this 3, kind of 3 strike you're out kind of thing.
Mhm.
And you blow up, or like her thing's a smash to the ground, you blow up. She had a team wipe on her own. I play Strange, so that might be my main right there. You know, she's a hit scan, she got flight.
Kind of.
There's no.
She's not his
no,
scan. She's not his scan.
I could have sworn she was.
No. She was just really close to them because her projectiles move pretty quick.
Mhm.
But she's not hit scan because then she'd actually be insanely broken.
That didn't even matter. Like, she was her ult and went through hella and she died. Like, she went back to like human form.
Okay, but so like her ult, from what I was able to see, because they haven't released the
huge-
full like character breakdown of her just yet.
They use all of her kit.
She fuses with the Phoenix Force, becomes that big old bird that you see in the comic books and in the X-Men movie, and she just kamikazes straight into a
Real.
specific spot and blows everybody up. It genuinely,
Big damage.
it looks great.
Huge damage.
I would say Blade is going to be awesome too. They're
Yes, sir.
finally making Blade a playable character. They had his release, not this season, but last season, when
they
the main
teased
villain
it.
was Dracula.
Mhm.
You saw his design. He was shackled in like some weird energy cage.
He was, yeah.
And then this last
Me too.
season, bro's just passed out in Wakanda the whole time.
Dang. But now he's good. Now he
He's
has
back.
like not an anti-heal, but like heal reduction. So,
No,
like,
they,
he
they
should strike.
need anti-heal heroes in Rivals because
Ah.
the dominance of the support ult genuinely make it.
I mean, it changes the game. If a cloak and dagger keeps popping off the
It
thing.
prolongs fights that
Mm.
honestly should end.
Nah,
Genuinely.
just be better.
You can because
Yeah,
you can.
Hey, get your hands off me. Anywho. No,
I
yeah.
mean, so here's why I say this. I use Overwatch as a comparison because in terms of
Bad game.
gameplay, they are very, very similar.
I mean, essentially,
Extremely
they're both
similar.
hero shooters.
I would, well, not only that, just the entire point, game modes, characters, class-based
Yeah,
hero
one's
shooters.
better, one's like down here, but yeah.
You haven't played Stadium, so you can't comment
If
on
it's
that.
one game mode saving the game, what are we doing here?
That's how Rivals has been this last season.
There's
one game
multiple
mode.
game modes.
No, there's one game mode that's been
But
played.
like that's different though, because Rivals. Okay, say Rivals has one game mode. If one game mode saved your entire game, it has multiple. Is that not a problem?
That's my point. That's the point I'm
Like what?
trying to make. Is that when people play the game, so Overwatch Stadium, I will actually say is more relatable towards Rivals because they also edited to third person. There's more customizability. I don't know what the word is. In Overwatch right now with how you can affect your weapon damage, your ability damage, life steal, how your health bar is made up. I would say Rivals, they do that in a way that's a little bit different than from Stadium. Stadium does it by character, you can adjust it. Rivals has such a large roster, your play style can adjust by character. Like, let's say you're good at Iron Fist, and you're like, okay, I want to be able to be tankier and be able to just go up against more tanks easier. Instead of adjusting his stats to, actual weapon damage, you switch to the Thing, or you switch to Thor, or you switch to, you know what I'm saying? So they make up for it with roster size, what Overwatch has with customizability. That being said, Overwatch made it a point when Ana was dropped into the game as being like, this healer ends fights. Like, her job is to shorten a fight that should be long. For people who don't know Overwatch, Ana is a sniper and a healer. She has an ability called anti-heal. It's a grenade that she throws, basically slimes everybody in the radius, and if you're covered in the slime, you cannot get healed for the duration of that effect.
Allies get health, enemies get health reduction.
Exactly. So. Rivals has been experiencing an issue, and that's coming from me as a support who benefits from this issue.
Hey.
Ultimates just...
they get their ultimate the fastest.
They get their ultimate the fastest. They also last the longest, and they also produce enough HP per second to offset any damage, save for 3 ultimates in the game.
It's just, to me, because Rivals, the way it was made, like, everyone's pretty much beatable. Even, like, with ultimates popping out, like, it's all about kind of game knowledge and, like, I guess everyone's, like, sync, I guess. Because anything can be beaten. That's how everything has a counter, but like you don't need a direct counter to beat something.
The issue with that has been the supports, though. It's because
you're like 2 good ones.
Nah.
I'd argue all of them are.
All of them
good.
are really overpowered.
Like
every single ultimate by every support, save for Loki. Loki is genuinely, I think, the best constructed support, just in terms of his kit. He's the most versatile, and his ultimate is the only one that isn't just straight up overhealing. Cloak and Dagger, they go all over the map. Wherever the area that they traveled is, you're getting infinite heals for about 7-8 seconds.
Damage to the enemy.
Luna Snow, exact same thing. If you're within her ultimate radius, you're not dying.
You can though.
Short of a Wanda ult or an Iron Man ult, you're not dying.
You can. It's not impossible. It's
maybe
hard.
In the low elos.
It's not impossible. If everyone shoots Luna at the same time, she'll die. It's not like infinite healing, just high amount of healing at once. It's not like constantly, boom, you get 100%, like it's slowly rising.
The ratio at the rate that happens of how many times like that actually happens towards a support, no, it just doesn't happen. People don't do it. People don't shoot at the support. Simply because, here's why. If you are focusing fire on one individual, you are actually sacrificing the attention of other heroes. Right?
I mean, if it's a Luna ult, you gotta make that sacrifice.
So the problem is that if there's a Luna ult and you choose to aim at Luna, all she's gotta do, one, is just dodge your bullets. Super easy when you're in that ultimate. You are fast.
Not really.
You are fast.
Luna?
I play Luna.
I play Luna. She's not that fast. Just move that quick.
You switch to your damage, and it doesn't matter if everyone's shooting at that Luna. It takes 4 shots for someone to die by one of their teammates caught in that damage buff. You know, so I'm Punisher, Luna ults. She saves the whole team from almost dying to now we're at full HP. She switches to damage, the other team's dead. Just simple as that.
I mean, that just depends on how your team is looking though. Like, if we're down somebody, maybe.
So
but
that's
like,
the
that
point.
simple switch is not gonna do
those. But that's with one character. Now imagine that applied to all of the other support characters. Rocket ult does healing now. So that used to be the only one that was a specific. You get small overshield, but it focuses on damage, not healing.
So they're both. It was very slow.
Invisible Woman does not matter. If you're in that, you're in that field, you're protected. You're not dying.
Unless you have a nuke in there, no, you're not dying. Or just dumb.
I'm trying to think. Ultron, same way. If he shoots you, you're not going down. It's just not happening. I'm trying to think of the last. Jeff ult is also like Loki's, where it's like, yeah, not everyone's saved because essentially it's a command grab, and then he just takes you away, kills you, or he just takes you away enough to cap point. The point is that those healing ults are doing too much in terms of preserving the game. So the meta right now of what the developers saw is, okay, people are going to 3 supports and nobody's dying. So there will be games hitting overtime before halfway to the first point, and it just won't stop.
See, in my opinion, I think what the big issue is that like your supports do so much damage. Like excluding Rocket, like you have Atom, you have Ultron. If you really wanted to, like you can do Luna Snow and just like eliminate other people as a support. You got what's her face? Mantis too. Like these people are like you don't need a DPS. You have one of those 4.
The kits for those specific healers are designed to be DPS.
Damage, yeah.
That's why
high damage for a support is crazy.
They realize because of the current comps, because of the kits that they have, they can't, I guess, nerf or buff and adjust stats enough to where it'll offset those issues. So having an anti-heal function forces those characters to become vulnerable no matter what state that they're in.
Their kits.
It balances the kits from supports basically just being DPS that can heal, and tanks just having 700 HP, so you just can't kill them if they're getting
Like,
triple pocketed.
I can see the
To the point where
effect it
now
could cause.
DPS has a leg up against supports every once in a while.
I
So
can see. I can
Blade is a
see
cooldown that
the
does
effect.
anti-heal.
He does anti-heal, or if you swap it, like, so you have the gun,
Mhm.
using the gun, it gives a speed reduction. If you use the sword, it's an anti-heal or
That's
heal
necessary.
reduction.
That's necessary because it puts it on teams.
I can see how it could be useful. Like, I'm not saying it's completely bad, but like if we start the whole anti-heal thing, then you get right back to Overwatch. Everything was like anti-heal.
I'd argue everything in Overwatch is not anti-heal. It's just
There's a lot of
it
anti-heal.
forces
there's only
the player to
one-
think about team composition more.
There's only 2 characters in Overwatch with anti-heal. Out
There's
of
a
a
lot of,
roster
like-
of 35 plus.
There was a lot of anti-healing though. That was like the main thing. If you don't have anti-heal, you're not playing the game. Like if you play a character, you can't play another character.
No.
There was a lot of that.
Bro, I do this competitively. Anti-heal.
I did too. What are you talking about?
No. Like
Yeah,
in the esports scene, correct?
you guys lost every match.
No.
Yeah,
We made it to semifinals our first year.
you guys lost almost all your matches. I watched.
Dude,
I was
we made
watching.
it to semifinals.
You guys sucked. I don't know how you made it,
Bro,
Like,
if we
the-
sucked,
Did you have
how
like
are
a rank
you?
requirement to even get there? Like to get on the team?
Dude, I wish.
Like, like no shame.
And
but,
also,
like,
you can watch every single game, and the same problem will persist. It wasn't the anti-healing. It was the lack of training of the people supposed to doing the killing. Like genuinely.
buns.
So the
bro.
the anti-healing
Why even bring up-
the anti-heal function, what it does is that it puts it on the team to balance out stats rather than on the actual developers to be like, all right, well, how do we fix problems that that players are experiencing without completely breaking the game or reworking characters every single season? So having an anti-heal function, what it does is that it balances out healing in the sense that it's not unlimited. There's no limiting factor to the healing that you can put out right now. Because if you put out a triple support and then you back up 2 tanks and have 1 DPS, sure, you have 1 DPS. If he sucks, he's just constantly dying. Those 2 tanks aren't dying means you stay in the fight forever. Like, and it just prolongs the game to where a quick play match designed to be like 7 to 10 minutes long lasts 12 to 17.
You know what was prolonged? IronHeart series.
Yeah, we can move on to that. That was. So, anyways, Rivals update. I'm happy. Characters are cool.
2 dope characters. Definitely playing Gene all day, every day.
New season's gonna be
Pretty much
symbiote
tank.
themed. Happy to see what the battle
Also,
pass looks
Noel.
like.
We didn't include Noel. He's gonna be in there.
I don't even know who Noel is. We can go into deep dive later. Like
We'll
on
go
a
there
different
later.
episode.
Don't worry about that. But he's gonna be in it. And if y'all watch some recent Marvel movies, you should know who Noel is.
Yeah. But like, we can get into Ironheart because
Ironheart.
we got different
See,
opinions on it.
listen. Ironheart
Is bad.
It's bad.
is like, I had to give it this. After watching all 6 episodes, it's
7.
not like the best shows. Well,
It's 7 episodes.
6 episodes.
I thought it was 7.
No. It was 3 first week, 3 this week.
I could be wrong. So yeah,
It's
keep
6,
going.
But so it's not like the recent projects you got TV show wise from Marvel. This is definitely one of the better ones. Point
It
blank
is?
period. Yes. Would you watch Secret Invasion or Ironheart?
Secret Invasion.
None of the above.
They're
I'd rather
both
beat
terrible.
myself.
They're
in the
both
head with a
terrible, but
rod.
I'd
But,
rather,
like,
I'd rather
Ironheart
watch
is
Secret
better.
Invasion because Nick Fury is in it. And Nick Fury is
Dude,
objectively
like,
more.
That
he's
show
objectively
was
more
so much
interesting.
buns. That show was so buns.
Okay,
Let's keep it a
let me
stack.
ask you a question.
Mhm.
What about the show did you like?
Of Ironheart?
Yeah.
I liked, well, one, you got to see the like creative side of Riri, like her building the suits or other equipment. Like you see her like actually thinking about it. There were times where it was like she could, a water bottle. Let me invent a straw to transport the water like instantly. But like later on, the second half, she has to sit there and think about it and actually put it together and fail and try again. I like seeing that part, especially supposed to take up the mantle of Iron Man. Like you saw him fail multiple times. You saw him like in like digitally like doing things didn't work, try new elements,
Iron Man 2.
combinations. Yeah, exactly. You saw him try Iron Man 3 as well. Like you saw him try different things that didn't work, and he improves it later on. That was a much shorter timeline, but Riri did it slowly over time. Like improved her suit, improved her designs and like went forward from that. So that was pretty cool. I liked how a big thing is how like the characters in the show called Riri out constantly. So like most of the times, characters in shows like you can do something wrong, and the side characters be like, "Oh, you're totally fine.
So,
you're doing the goat thing." And then they would go on from there.
So your contention of what you like about it is actually my main issue with the show is that the show is aware that Riri just blows. Like she just sucks as a person.
Yeah.
And especially after seeing the end, it just shows that Riri has made no growth as a character. She's a stagnant character the whole time, which is why I say when it started out, I'm like, this can get fine because there are so many flaws in Riri as like a person that I'm like, this can get ironed out throughout the whole, pun intended, ironed out throughout the whole series.
Like, personally, the ending I liked it more because it made her more realistic, in my opinion. For the main part of like she kept making mistakes and still kind of progressed forward.
How?
What do you mean how? Like,
she made quite a very grave mistake that makes all the other ones look like child's
multiple
play.
mistakes, and like as a super genius, like things you could just think of and be like, oh, that's gonna mess up, but something's gonna happen. But like seeing how like even though she did everything right, and she's still like, what if I had my friend back? You know.
Here.
Versus like she kept
every time
I'll say
what she did right.
Finish that, and I'll give you my thoughts afterwards.
Like i.e. like when what's his name? Ezekiel went to jail. Like she actually tried. That's when like everything flipped, in my opinion. She was kind of this one person tried to turn somebody else and went back to where you start. Like much more realistic to me. But like she tried to get in there or try to free him, quote unquote. She didn't really do much, but she's like, I'm gonna get you out. I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna try. And like as things go on, she's like more and more things are being thrown into her face, pretty much. And now she realizes I gotta do better, especially including her mom into it. I have to do better. It's like you see her transitioning into a better person. But as we know, as you try to be better, the hard thing is to maintain being better or change. And now you see that you have the option to have your friend or save the world. I'd rather have my friend because I'm trying to be a better person, but it's always fit.
I got it.
Point blank, period.
She caused every problem that needed to be solved in that show.
Don't make it seem like I'm saying she's perfect or she has.
It's not. I don't think she's.
I'm not even
good.
thinking
not
that
a
she's
perfect person.
I trust me. We're in agreement.
She was not designed to be liked.
So,
let's keep it a being. Like, what?
But okay, even if you're not designed to be liked, you have to show growth as a character. Otherwise, the story becomes irrelevant. What's the story about when it's focused on Riri at the beginning of the show? It's okay. She is basically reaping what she sowed. She got kicked out of MIT. All of her friends and family back in Chicago resent her and are just like, you're an idiot. Like, you're the smartest person probably in the world, and you're wasting every opportunity because you're a head ass.
And you
like,
can't
you're just
blame people for your failures.
You cannot blame other people for your failures.
Yeah.
That was ironed out, pun intended again, in the first episode.
Cordial.
In the first 20 minutes, let's be honest, when she was talking to the counselor, and she's like,
dude,
I don't know what else I can do. You're a 6th year, and you just got caught for plagiarism in 3 states.
And you burnt through all your money.
Funds. All of her money's gone.
And you have progressed nowhere in like school. So.
Well, and not only that, she finally explains why the Iron Man suit is what she focused on. She's like, because I can, and everyone, like, it intentionally in the first 3 episodes was supposed to be insufficient answer.
Yeah.
Is meant to be to deflect of, like, I'm smarter than you, don't question me. Which, for someone who's cocky, highly intelligent, got a chip on their shoulder, checks. Like, that tracks in the character. She never loses that. Not once. Even as she's continuing to reap what she sowed and continuing to make the same mistakes over and over again from the same source, not even like, oh, I fixed something, now there's a new problem. It's like, okay, well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that again. Does it right again. Has another problem. Okay, well, now everything's worse. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it again. Does this exact same thing again. Makes everything, like, it's a cycle that...
Well, even let's
constantly,
just stick to the
like,
constantly...
See, I didn't see that part of constantly, like, failing and doing it. I didn't see that at all.
Well, let's even just stick to the motive.
Let's stick to the
So
motive,
she
yeah.
needs money to build her suit, and she's solely obsessed with making the suit. Cool, fine. Even in that, it doesn't make sense why she doesn't sell any of her genius technology
To anybody.
to anybody, or even considered it. And you're telling me a person who in universe got recognized by Tony
Wakanda.
Stark, Wakanda, Hank, can't
Pym? When was
Yeah,
that?
and Pym. Yeah, Hank Pym. Because she got the scholarship. What's it called? The Stark Industries.
Oh, from Civil War.
Exactly.
Hank Pym, I'm not sure was focused on.
I think
No,
it's Hank too.
she mentioned Hank
She
Pym,
mentioned
but
Hank
she
Pym
does a Tony
as a
Stark,
source
like,
of
internship.
like,
I'm better than him.
I'm better than Hank
I'll be
Pym because
better
he had
than
all
this,
that money.
better
Which
than Jaws, better than
objectively, Hank Pym, just by any metric in the Marvel universe, is the smartest one. Period. He discovered time travel before Tony Stark.
Well, even disregarding that, she is
Disregard that,
regarded
yeah.
as a prodigy
She's
in
supposed
universe.
to be.
She's regarded as
Yes.
a prodigy. That no one
Extremely
wanted
smart.
to talk to her about internships or working with her while she's at MIT is just unbelievable.
It's
to
not
me.
real.
It
it's
just
not
doesn't
real.
make
At
any
this point,
sense.
we're also losing. Like she's spiraling out of control. You're not thinking about how best.
Yes,
can I
but
make
That's,
this?
there's a
that's actually what
difference.
I'm locked in on.
Because
is
like
that
timeline wise, she like her dad dies in the last year she was there.
respectfully,
That ends in Friends.
it was when she was 14. She's currently like 20 in the show. So like,
According to the show, like it wasn't that long ago.
yeah,
That's
it wasn't when she was
fine.
14.
I get that. However, it's just that
Or
she doesn't even confront it as she's forced to confront it in the show. She simply says,
constant.
"Okay."
So she thinks to sell homework, but not her techno. That doesn't make any sense. So
Well,
let's say she is spiraling. Cool. If she was gonna sell something off, then maybe have her sell off technology she shouldn't to the wrong individual or corporation or whatever.
I mean,
But
like you
the-
have no purpose to sell when you're literally with bank robber or whatever they're doing.
But that-
and getting
But
millions
that
of
doesn't
dollars.
even
that was
the
by
same
her
amount of money.
own.
Well,
that was
that's
by her
not
own
not saying that was
choices.
a good choice, but like if you're already getting money, I'm
But-
gonna get another
so-
some more things on the side. She's getting like
I was waiting.
$100,000.
I was
But she
waiting the
could get
entire
paid from her-
time.
Mhm.
I was waiting the entire time for a redemption of her
I get that
character.
from Riri.
It never came. It never once came.
She didn't even apologize to the brother for like bringing her sister back. She was like,
No, she
"Hey,
never
I did it."
apologized to anyone except for her mom and Zeke.
Not even.
No, she
Not
apologized
even.
to her mom.
She apologizes to her
Like
mom
not
and
to
Zeke.
Zeke, not
She
but
does.
to mom.
She
What-
does as she's in jail calling him. She's like, "I'm so sorry. I mean, I'm gonna get you out." And he's just like, "Whatever, dude." Which
It
rationally,
was like a fake apology though. You could tell. Even he could tell. Like you just in it for yourself. He literally said that verbatim. Like,
I
Well,
think
I don't
that's
think
my
it
point.
was just like it was just shallow.
that's my
'Cause
point.
she's
fake. She didn't care.
It wasn't fake per se. She does feel bad, but not for the reason
No.
that she should.
Exactly. But the redemption never ever comes. She never actually learns the lesson. She just simply understands how to handle the problems she creates, but never actually how to not create those problems herself.
I don't even think she handles them because even with the suit and the back to your creativity point, she can't even find a power source. She gets it magic.
She
super-
That I
refuses-
understand. 'Cause
she
that's-
says-
how that makes sense.
Well,
but-
she says she's better than Tony Stark, and she has a car in front of her. Respectfully, she can make an arc reactor. Canonically, that's how Tony Stark made his first one, out of a car battery and a few bum missiles.
There was more than just a car.
If you're
though.
telling me you can make a fully functioning Iron Man suit out of a car, but
You can
not an
make
arc,
an arc
reactor to
reactor?
power
He
it, I
did.
don't understand.
Canonically, he built
Canonically, he
Well, I
did.
know he built it, but
Like that.
Riri has no experience with arc reactors
Okay,
at all.
it. But she has the experience to
if she
build a
has the experience
vibranium
with an
detector.
and an Iron Man suit. Respectfully, I don't buy
This
that.
her story doesn't make sense at all.
If
that's what I'm saying. Like the second half is better than the
if
first.
Ivan Vanko in Iron Man 2 can build an arc reactor in Russia, in the slums
He
of
had the
Russia,
schematics
in the
for
winter,
What?
he has the schematics for the arc reactor.
Respectfully, at this stage in time in the Marvel Universe, the schematics are published. Like, they're literally published.
His dad was the one who worked on it. He knows how to what?
You're missing the point. The technology
He
is...
has the information
The
required to build
technology
it.
not only has been widely available, it has been developed on farther and publicized farther. Yes, the actual schematics to build an arc reactor are not there, but the schematics to build
Yeah,
a functioning
the
Iron Man suit
instructions.
also don't exist. And Tony Stark built the arc reactor first, which implies what? The Iron Man suit is more complex than the arc reactor itself. So if you're
He
gonna
also built the same thing.
skip a phase in terms of just like she's literally swimming before she can even crawl at
But
this
she
point.
used an alternative energy source the entire time. It was like wind and like whatever, solar.
Yeah, and it
It
does.
worked for a low level suit, but like that's again progression as time goes on. She even used a car battery and said it's too much, or I need more.
So, if power is her issue, she is a rational thinker. Her issue for this here, I'll get back to the Iron Man suit right quick. Her issue for why she's building an Iron Man suit, she's like, well, it's because I froze up when the guns came flying out for what's his
Yeah.
name, her stepdad,
Stepdad
and Natalie.
stepfriend. Yeah.
I couldn't do anything. So I'm building an Iron Man suit so that I'm literally like just bulletproof and I can
never
do
feel
something.
weak enough for like I'll be hurt or something like that.
She is smart enough to build one from the ground up. She went to Wakanda. She was able to analyze their tech.
Who
She
else had
remembers
arc
it.
reactors?
Well, she dude.
Where else is an arc reactor? Who else has it?
People build like Stark technology.
Yeah, who else has an arc reactor? When was the last time she came like in contact with arc reactor?
I'm sure they have them, and
Would you
canonically
rather-
at MIT, they
Would
have
you
to
rather
have one
her
that's out
somehow just summon an arc reactor? Like, oh, I'm building a suit arc reactor.
But part of her genius is literally being able to recreate Stark technology from the ground up with her own twist. If she can't build this central component to the Iron Man suit, it doesn't make sense that she could build an Iron Man suit.
She has an AI from a scan of the brain that's not actual brain scan. What are we doing here?
Yes, and she did it by hooking up to the Chicago power system, which also doesn't make sense whatsoever.
Because it's not. See what I'm saying? Like you.
So
that's
that's actually
too
my
many
point, is
holes.
that it's very inconsistent in terms of its time that they want to portray Riri as an absolute genius, and then artificially putting like blocks in her thought track.
Honestly, because like, if I were to see her bust out an arc reactor, because first off, it's gonna be a heart-shaped arc reactor. Cause
The shape doesn't matter. The
That's
shape
how
doesn't
it end
matter.
up. This is how it end up because they're
Yeah.
gonna make it heart-shaped and
She's
whatever.
Ironheart, yeah, that's her thing.
Yeah, but like, if you were to bust out with an arc reactor, I probably would stop watching it.
It would have made
Like-
so much sense. The central component of Iron Man is that it's powered by the arc reactor. Therefore, his suit has the ability to do almost anything he can put onto it. If he can think it,
that's
he has the power
Iron
to do it.
Man's. Yeah, that's what Iron Man. Like in this story, like they don't meet.
And
They don't even know each other.
Even if you wanted to not do the arc reactor, 'cause it's too much like Tony Stark, what you would do is then be like, all right, Riri, create your own infinite power source. Outsourcing that to Magic just because she couldn't figure it out.
It felt hollow.
It
like
felt
the writers
hollow.
didn't know what to do.
Because then I'm just like, you literally were able to take apart, what was the car? It was like a Dodge Charger, right?
Yeah.
And make it into an Iron Man suit, which objectively is just crazy to think about. It's just crazy to think
you already
about.
have your design pretty much done. You just gotta shape it. It's hard to do. It's not.
Well, the technology in a Charger, in my opinion, would be very hard to make a highly
She
sophisticated.
definitely
Iron Man
added
suit
some
with.
other. She had the whole thing opens up in the front. Like yeah, she added some other stuff from outside.
And that's what I'm saying. But like, there's holes into how she built it from a car to
For
an
sure.
Iron Man suit while she was just in like a shut down garage.
For sure, like yeah.
So
But-
that's beside the point. It's just she just doesn't like fully think things through, and there's not a point in the show where she is forced to. So she never does. So by the time we get to the end, spoiler alert, when she's talking to Mephisto and she just saw the entire downward spiral of someone who just made a deal with this guy.
Yeah.
She didn't think to herself, I don't need you because I'm all that in a bag of chips. I'm all that. I made my own Iron Man suit. I basically resurrected my friend in my eyes. I don't need MIT. I don't need anyone else. I made my own Iron Man suit out of a
That's
car
not
that my
necessarily
dad left me. Why would you be like, yeah, let me make a deal with the literal devil after I just saw someone like go crazy and literally turn into a demon?
She's been constantly failing this entire story. Like, yeah, she thinks these things. She thinks it's obviously clear what matters to her because when it came down to it, she'd rather give up the power, the magic to get her friend back. So I'm not surprised you can go get her friend back. It's the failure of someone who has no experience
If
being a
it
hero.
mattered to her, though, the relationship she developed with that AI would have been different. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just
Like,
inconsistent. Like,
You see throughout the story that she means a lot to her, and like Natalie trying to pretend to be the actual Natalie bother her constantly. As time goes on, it gets better and better and better. That's like if that didn't happen, she wouldn't even try to bring her. Like if that bond didn't happen between like 2 through 4, 2 through 3, like she wouldn't even try to bring Natalie back. Like that, like at the very end before that, like the little heart attack she had because Natalie was being deleted, which doesn't make sense how your power source is deleting a program. But I guess magic. That does not.
No,
compute.
none of it makes sense.
it doesn't make
It
sense.
doesn't make
That's
any
what
sense.
I'm saying. Like, the
doesn't
technology,
compute.
the excuse for the technology being like
But-
kind of incoherent to us mere intellectual mortals
But regardless of that, it's just
eats
like
itself when it comes down to just basic scrutiny.
it's just like I said, like if you built that relationship with your friend and now it's like she can come back, the only person you really trust besides your stepdad and your mom in this world, you can bring her back. She's gonna bring her back. I think we
she
forget
literally
Riri is not a
mentions-
hero.
She literally says, "What's in the past is in the past," and then says, "All right, let's make a deal."
Yeah,
It
the
just- it,
best
like-
person, the number one person that tempts you to do anything is Mephisto.
The problem with that is that the entire story arc is the fallout of a deal with Mephisto, just for her to be like, "Oh, this cyclical nature of me creating my own problems and having people get thrown in jail and dying, I'm gonna do it again, but this time on a supernatural scale that can honestly make what Dormammu wanted to do to the Earth look like child's
But
play."
see, where is it that she wants to do it again? Repeat the same exact cycle.
Did you not
She
see
was-
the end whenever
she
she
was
hugged
yeah.
Natalie?
talking
And she's
to
like,
him and
"Oh, she's
entertaining
real."
But like, where was it that she was gonna do the same exact cycle?
The same exact cycle, creating her own problems. As soon as she makes a
The
deal
same
with
exact.
Mephisto.
Yeah. Or
And
it
then
says you can repeat, or
When
she's gonna
she
stop
goes
Natalie.
to Ezekiel's house and is just like, "Let me use this tech because I'm gonna do some crimes with it," and he's like, "I don't want you doing it." She's like, "I promise I won't come back to you." Then she leaves it there. That's a problem
Everyone
she
knows it's
created.
gonna happen. Everyone knows it's gonna happen, but where is it that like the hood used it to get rich? What did Riri want? Her friend back. So how's it gonna ramp up from there?
What do you mean?
She's like literally in there. She's like making advancements to the suit. She's probably making her own version of Art Reactor right now.
she hasn't shown any capability to want to do that.
She's literally doing other things. Like I
Why
found
wouldn't
the power
she just keep her
source.
magical power source?
Why wouldn't she keep her magic power source at that point if she's already made a deal with the devil too? Like it
She
just
like not use.
it
It was
falls
to get her
apart.
friend back.
It
That
just
was the whole
falls
thing.
apart. Okay, but like she just saw, like if I saw Hope, okay, so this guy that I am involved with professionally, that's just generic, general, made a deal with the devil. I'm working with him, and I'm seeing this guy go from like a normal, upstanding guy who cares about his friends, his coworkers, wants everybody to eat. He wants everyone to eat. Into literally like, oh, I'm killing them off. I'm just killing them off because they piss me off, and this cape is the only thing that matters to me. He's like Gollum on steroids, and she's like, I want to be that.
Well, I mean,
She looks
It
at that,
doesn't
she's
make
like,
sense
"What
canonically.
happened to me?"
Riri doesn't know that that's why he's doing that. She just thinks that the cape is like overtaking him.
Well,
Like without the cape, Riri's not.
No,
thinking
they
the
got
same
a
thing's
magical
happening.
explanation. They know
they
it's a
no,
demon.
they have an
They
explanation.
know like it comes from. They know it's coming from. They think it's Dormammu, not Mephisto.
Respectfully,
but like, still, like
any
she doesn't
level
think it's
of
gonna affect her like
Satan-related
that.
things, and they're just like, oh, well, it's not the Satan I'm thinking of. As a rational person, not a super genius, I'd be like, yeah, let's just not.
I mean, it's just like I said, she doesn't know the side effects gonna happen to her the same way.
But that's
She
what
thinks she's gonna get a side effect.
what
It's
I'm
clearly
s-
her thought process right there.
That's the problem, though. Her thought process never changes. She never progresses as a
No.
character morally. All of her problems don't really get fixed; they get deferred.
They all get solved.
No, they get
They all
the
get solved.
None of them really get solved.
They don't get solved.
They don't get solved in the way of
Zeke
like,
gets
it's
out of
better,
jail. Zeke gets out of
but
jail,
it's
but what is he
different.
now? He's just like, I'm still mad at you. We're not friends, and I'm getting my leg back. Like he straight up says that.
Well, he's a whole character, yeah.
Okay,
He's a
before
whole
that,
like villain. in the story.
Yeah, he's
Before
gonna
that-
come back.
Yeah, he's a whole villain in the story.
That-
That's his whole purpose.
And that's an
reason.
ongoing
that-
issue.
Yeah.
Okay, Riri gets her suit because it's her own grant money. It's not property at MIT. Guess what? All the software systems inside of it were. She crashes. What does she do? Make a new suit. What does that happen? It's destroyed again. What she makes a new suit. The problem keeps getting deferred. The central issue of hers is that the things running the suit are not independent of things. They're not independent of foreign sources. First one, Wakanda. Second one, MIT. Third one was
Trash.
literally just junk
Literal
and
trash.
was run entirely by Natalie. Natalie gone now. After that thing got absolutely destroyed from a problem of her own making. She made the problem by
Yeah.
screwing Zeke and not literally just busting into that prison full Iron Man suit and flying him out.
But now just come right back to her though.
But that's her actually fixing the problem that she caused.
That would just cause more problems.
For her, but the problem she caused,
So now we can cause more problems, but starting the loop is bad.
she's trapped herself in this cyclical thing.
But so
of
adding
just
more
endless
problems to the loop is better?
She does it anyways. Like, genuinely. The end of the show is the introduction and a cliffhanger to another much bigger problem.
Yeah, I think we forget that Riri is still like child-minded.
No.
What?
She's very much
No,
a
she's not.
child.
She's an adult.
Riri's
I
an
didn't say she
adult.
was a kid. I said child-minded.
But she shouldn't be
She's
though.
not.
Canonically.
She saw two people very close to her die. That'll mature you
Yeah,
fast.
yeah, but like clearly she's very child-minded.
I feel like you're adding context to the
No.
show.
It's
Look at all her decisions. It's not like childish.
Like it's
what?
the writers made it pretty clear that they didn't know what they were doing with this character.
I don't think
very-
she's childish. I think she's
She's just terrible.
She's just terrible.
She is. Listen, she
like,
is not the best character.
If she was a child, I'd be like, she's a kid. She doesn't know anything. But it's established that she's an adult.
Yeah, we know that she's an adult. We know that she's been through
mature.
things.
She thinks.
We know that
about
she's
her.
smart. She knows she thinks ahead about certain things.
Does she? Does she think ahead?
Certain things,
Like,
i.e., excuses to her mom about why she is where she is, what she's doing with her team, how to pop up in 2 different places. Like, she thinks ahead. She tries to, like, that one in, I think it was episode 2 where they're robbing the, like, farm on the water. Like, she thought ahead to have her in 2 different spots.
she didn't think ahead because someone died as a result of her not thinking ahead, and on top of that,
Literally,
her friend
that
got thrown
was
in jail.
that was like a consequence of something else. Like, not even them.
of her making.
It was someone else, like, shot. I don't know who did something, but it wasn't like Riri. It was someone else on the team.
I know. I feel like this is just the
It,
perfect cherry
It's
on
a-
top of Phase 5 being sloppy.
yeah,
in my opinion.
it's just
Like,
not. It's just not.
Let's get back to the main. Listen, Riri is not the best character. Like I said in the beginning,
She's the
you're
worst.
not supposed to like Riri. There's no. When the show begins, like, she falls out the sky, the first line you hear is, "What's up, Iron Mom?" This is not going to be a good show. Riri is not a good character. The things around her is not good. I'm just saying, it makes more sense based on what you've seen that she will get Natalie back.
It doesn't
Is
make any
that-
sense to me.
It makes more sense that
it
she will
reads-
get Natalie back.
It reads to me, who tries to understand a full character arc and even story arc, that nothing was learned, and we are going to defer the actual learning moment towards a bigger project, and not focused on her. That's what it reads.
Clearly,
to me.
like, she. See, as someone who does the same, who sits there and analyzes the whole thing, you can tell she was not trying to grow. She was not trying to do better.
So what?
She
My
wasn't
question
trying
would
to
be,
have
And what's the
better.
point of the series?
exactly. My question
She
would
was
be,
not
what's the
trying.
point?
Like I said, the show was not good. I told you, it's better than what we have.
No, it's not.
It's
though.
better
It's
than
the
what
same.
recently came out.
Respectfully, Moon
but
Knight
she's
is
like,
light years better than this. They're in the same phase.
I said what recently came out. When did Moon Knight come out?
Like 2 years ago, it's in the same phase.
That's not that recent. Not recent, like this year, last year, 2
What's
years
come
ago.
Deadpool Wolverine came out last year. And it's light
Movie. I'm
years
talking
better.
about TV shows.
They haven't had a project on TV. They had
TV shows. I heard TV
Spider-Man and
shows.
His Amazing Friends is not in Phase 5, so I'm not gonna put that in, even though it's objectively peak. It is very good for a Spider-Man
Hawkeye
show.
was bad.
Hawkeye was mid at best.
I think they're all bad.
Thunderbolts was good. It's just a
The
good.
ending
It was just a
sucks.
good. The ending
I
sucks, but
didn't
it's
like
just a good.
Thunderbolts. I'm
Like
gonna be
the
honest.
Kumbaya, that's a whole nother subject. But nah, I don't.
So hold on, pause.
But that's a movie. That's also a movie.
No.
But you can recognize that
Like,
the ending of
TV shows.
Thunderbolts doesn't really complete any character arc, and that's the reason that the movie's bad. But Ironheart isn't that bad because Riri, I don't know, like
shouldn't be like
shouldn't like gets her
Not
friend
that
back.
because
Like,
she shouldn't be likable, is that it's almost expected of her to make that decision.
But-
versus like ex-cons and mercenaries having a kumbaya I love you moment. What?
I would say that the Thunderbolts one makes far more sense.
That makes far less sense. You know that you guys know each other for 2 days.
Canonically, they've all like seen each other.
Canonically, they know of each other for a long time. Bucky.
Did they not try
Bucky
to kill
and
each other when the
John-
movie started?
Bucky and John Walker have a very fickle relationship because Bucky understands where he's at now, and at first didn't like him because he thought of him.
Okay,
as a
but
person.
in the MCU,
yeah, that's in the MCU.
no,
Yes.
It's literally
No.
in the MCU.
literally like
Did you watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
yes, I watched it all.
So Bucky did not like.
No, and he
John
still doesn't
Walker.
like the. Regardless, right? You telling me all that happens. All that happens. Okay, I give you John. The rest of the team who literally try to kill each other at the beginning is now like, you know what? Actually, man, I love you.
Well, to
Florence-
be fair, they were
buddies.
all hired to kill each other.
Exactly.
Yes.
And also Florence Pugh's character, the only one that, and I can argue Bucky and John Walker, maybe. The only one that makes sense to have an emotional reaction to someone in the same shoes is Florence Pugh. The entire first part of the movie is her literally being like, I have no meaning in my life. I literally just want connection,
A
meaningful purpose. And she
That's pretty
finds
much
that
it.
with the Sentry.
Yelena and the team all have a canonical reason to like each other and be connected. To
Not
each other.
really,
Riri
though.
has
Yes,
no...
they do.
So you think ending the movie with a big hug is how it should go?
No.
Well, to be
but there's-
fair-
it makes sense. I don't think it's the best, but
I
it's
don't
not.
think. I don't
checks
think
out.
that.
But it's not
buns.
awful.
It at the very
either.
least checks out. It at the very least checks out.
Nah.
Riri's
No, it's
growth-
written in
Nah.
such a way like it makes sense. All the characters at that specific time are looking to be connected to somebody.
Especially after they've just seen each other's most horrific memory, they finally find each other, find the one person who's suffering the most out of all of them. like it does make sense. Do I think that they should have gone?
Was
that
it well
direction?
written?
No.
No.
Garbage. What?
But this Ironheart ending, it just doesn't. Like it makes me
sticks the
question
character
what's the
of,
point.
Listen, you're not supposed to like Riri. It's clear.
But
Let's
it's not
watch
about.
it.
It's not
You're
about
not supposed to like
liking-
her. You're not. There's no growth in Riri.
It's not
I think
about
we're
liking Riri. I didn't.
But
like
there's not
John
even
Walker.
dissent either.
I didn't like John Walker, and to be honest, I didn't really like Sam Wilson and Captain America: The Winter Soldier until the end. The reason is because I thought Sam Wilson didn't know what he wanted. I thought he was just going through the motions of being the hero just so that he can feel better, all that. And they address those things, and then he diverts to how he should act. Like, there's growth within the character regardless of how I
Or
felt
flip it,
about
like
the
he's saying you're not supposed to like Riri. Like the Penguin. You don't like the Penguin when you start. You really hate him and think he's scum at the end.
But
Well,
the
like, a
point is
villain
that
getting
there's
worse and a good
progression.
guy just being bad.
There's progression with that opinion. It's forced to change because of the story.
Mm-hmm.
This story, you can literally get rid of it, drop Riri from Wakanda Forever into a new Avengers movie with a brand new armor set, and you would have not needed to watch Ironheart whatsoever.
Like,
you just wouldn't have needed to.
It adds on. Like, it's obviously, clearly, something else going to happen with Ironheart. I'm not sure if it's a movie, another TV show, what.
This is the
I'm not sure if
derivative.
she's
I
ever
think
been
this is
more
a
to me.
derivative of cameo slop, where they are dropping little seeds of plot for the supernatural aspect that I know they want to pursue. They've already started with Moon Knight, Werewolf by Night, Mephisto being introduced, Blade being teased, even though he is in production and legal hell right now, as well as Black
Blade is
Knight being
kinda
teased
cursed.
at the end of Eternals. Like, they want to go into the supernatural direction. This show just seems like, it's like, guys, it's coming. Look, she made a deal with Mephisto. That means more heroes. Guess what? Mephisto might show up in Spider-Man, reverse the thing that happened. I can see it now. This wasn't really about the character. It was about the overall plot point of Phase 5 to Phase 6.
I can't speak on that because the show is like not that good.
Yeah, it's like talk about some good Marvel stuff.
It's not that
Talk
good.
about good.
Okay, so
It's
on
not
a
that good.
on a better note, Marvel is cooking in places. Maybe not in TV, but the comic books that are coming out right now,
Like what? Like what? Give me.
I feel like I've been.
What is cooking?
After 40 days and 40 nights in the desert, someone just handed me a Route 44 strawberry lemonade from Sonic. This is what comics feel right now.
Short Limb is kind of mid, but keep going.
All right, we're just gonna,
Blasphemy. Keep going.
Keep going.
Ultimate Comics are back. The original Ultimate Comics came out around 2000, 2001. It was meant to modernize stale tropes within the Marvel universe. Because if we put on like our historical analytical thinking cap, Marvel
Two big words.
late 90s, early 2000s was not doing good. By almost every metric, they were very struggling. DC had to
So-
help them out with their crossovers in the 90s.
They were getting fried.
They were getting fried, and that was bad because comic book communities, in terms of like writers, pencilmen,
They share a lot of
coloring, they are
People,
like,
talent.
hey, I've written for Green Lantern, I've written for Captain America, I've drawn for Batman, I've drawn for Spider-Man and Daredevil, I've drawn for Superman, I've drawn for
A lot of experience.
They do both. They have a special attachment to both universes, right?
So like the characters have been like remade
So
or like
in 2000,
revisualized?
Ultimate Comics came out. It was supposed to completely be separate from the original run to make sure that the normal canon was still going, so that the most annoying comic book fans could be like, see, they're not rebooting. We're still going on. Anyways, those guys that make people not want to read comic books, we're happy. Ultimate comic books got a whole new generation of people into them. Because it's like, oh, this isn't based off the 60s. This isn't based off the 70s.
Especially Ultimate
It's
Spider-Man.
based off now. The setting,
New characters,
the
updated
political
settings.
dynamics, the actual like vernacular that they were using, completely based off of like modern times. Fantastic. Ultimate Spider-Man,
Goated.
goated.
If
Genuinely,
you don't like comic books,
read
I
Ultimate Spider-Man
recommend reading Ultimate
before
Spider-Man.
Miles Morales, because that's when it got really bad. That's an unpopular opinion, but it's true.
So what's another Ultimate I should read though?
Ultimate X-Men came out.
X-Men.
That one wasn't as much as popular, but because it was X-Men, it was still insanely popular. Then there was the Ultimates. The Ultimates were the Avengers. So,
Some Avengers story.
you know the movie with Chris Evans, everybody, the
The first-
MCU movie.
first Avengers,
They
yeah.
ripped Ultimates right into a movie. The Chitauri were basically like the main enemy that put the Ultimates on the map in that universe.
It's like everything was essentially like almost 1-to-1 from the movie.
No, it's
Or
because
was that very close?
Loki. So they blend. So the original Avengers movie was great because it blended the original Avengers, you know,
The 5 or 6 people, yeah.
introduction and Ultimate, and just fused them together. So instead of the Chitauri invasion, you know, popping off, and now it's up to the Ultimates to stop it as it's already here. It brings in Loki as being the first Avengers villain from the original Avengers line. Brings them together to where Loki is
Emerging too.
Loki wants to take over the world, and he's going to do it by using the Chitauri.
And he's still like
Great.
serving Thanos thing, or is that different too?
That's more for the MCU plotline. It's a little bit different because in
Okay.
the comic books, Loki does not serve anybody. He's like, no,
Those
I'm
days he was-
me. He's like,
He's
I'm
Loki.
Yeah, he's Loki.
Okay,
He's
right.
genuinely the god of mischief, where he's just like, yeah, I do good when I want, and I do bad when I want.
Whatever I feel like.
Whatever I
doing.
feel like doing, I'm
what
gonna
I
do.
want, what I want, how I want.
So that's old Ultimate comic books. You saw a bunch of tropes that have been seen in like movies and video games for Spider-Man, introduced in Ultimate Spider-Man. Ultimate Fantastic Four came out. It completely rewired how people thought of the Fantastic Four. They were younger. They were inexperienced. They had a lot of problems in terms of like, you know, it pops in their face. They gotta fix it. Reed Richards is properly recognized as a piece of shit. Properly.
So he's still like the bad genius and everything.
Of course, he's
nothing
Reed
Of course,
changed
he's
about the
Reed
Mad
name.
smart.
Richards. When he was Mr. Fantastic, before he turned into the Maker, he was genuinely like, he was enjoyable to read.
Okay.
He was enjoyable to read. And Human Torch, funny. He was great. Invisible Woman
Human
had a
Torch
little
is
bit more
cool.
depth to her character, and Ben Grimm, you genuinely felt bad for.
Okay. So I actually have props for Ben Grimm. You actually want to
Yeah.
you root for someone. Okay, that's better.
You know, as the Ultimate Universe progresses, the Ultimates get bigger, they get better. Iron Man starts to develop more technology from his Iron Man armor.
How is like Doom in this, or is he involved?
Doom's just Doctor Doom. He's
I feel like Doctor Doom never needs to get like modernized.
He was never
'cause,
modernized. He was always Doom.
Like he's
Always.
just doomed. Like he just exists.
Magneto was modernized, not in the way to make him correct, but to make him actually seem crazy. Like
Oh, that's a
in Ultimate Comic, because in the original X-Men, you read Magneto and it's like, yeah, he's a bit much, but like, his boy
He's
spit.
not
Yeah,
wrong.
he's a little right.
You know,
He gets proven right quite a bit, you know. Like
The means, the
the
ends.
memes are a little
Yeah,
crazy.
you know, magic
But he,
aside.
at his central argument, it's not wrong. Ultimate Comic Book says,
He's
no.
just like a madman.
This guy's a mutant supremacist, does not care about the oppression. He simply is like, we are the next step in human evolution, therefore everyone before us is less than. Now, there is still like Holocaust, like traumatic, you know, formative things that
storyline though.
but it's more like survivors of abuse, where they just recreate the conditions of which they were abused. But
That's
he's
how he's
psychotic.
just,
But he's psychotic. So he's
he
actually
just got
insane.
gone off the rails.
Exactly.
And now he's like,
So they revamped these characters, right?
Mhm.
Ultimate Comics eventually disappears. The Maker just nukes the entire universe. It's gone. They just reintroduced it. This is what happens after the entire universe gets wiped. It's a
So it's
brand
like
new
the
universe
reboot.
designed by the
Brings back.
Maker.
okay,
Designed by the Maker.
okay, so everyone's back, brand new, gets revamped, restart, redo. Okay,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. So like, okay, so say if I'm wanted to start the series, what should I start with?
Ultimates.
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 Is there a certain section, chapter? No, what?
Ultimates number 1. Technically number 0, because comic book starts 0.
Okay.
So, Ultimates Avengers cast, basically. Every character, save for Captain America, is almost completely different. Iron Man, instead of being a playboy billionaire philanthropist that's in his like
keep seeing
late 30s, early 40s,
Mm.
he's 19.
Young.
His dad is alive in the very beginning.
Oh, wait a minute.
In the very, trust me, it doesn't last.
R.I.P. Howard Stark. What's going
Yeah.
on?
Yeah, you thought there was gonna be happiness now.
The maker essentially, like, you know how like conspiracy nuts are like, there's new world order controlling the entire planet, and everyone's like, yeah, whatever. And this world is completely
It's
true.
like
The
him.
maker uses that that universe's version of Shield to like offset different events to make sure that
Oh.
history unfolds as the maker wants it to.
Okay, so even like history has changed here too.
Howard Stark finds out. gets a list of people that were of the Maker's priority targets to neutralize, so to make sure that there's no uprisings.
Oh snap!
He dies. Tony gets it. Bro's framed for a nuclear attack. I can't remember where. And he's got an Iron Man suit. He's like, all right, cool. Getting out of Dodge. Teams up with Reed Richards, who is Doctor Doom in this universe.
Oh snap!
Yeah, Reed Richards is Doctor Doom. He's not like any other Reed Richards in the comic books previously. He is more like Batman and Lex Luthor than he is like Reed Richards.
That's a crazy combination.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then Thor has been imprisoned. Captain America just gets out the ice. You know, World War II, America, he wakes up, it's like, no more America. Mutant nation over in Russia and in Europe.
Freezes from World War II. And
Fascist state. Everyone is just not doing
This
good.
ain't my America.
So Cap wakes up and he's like, back to work. Instead of coming to like, oh, well, what are my next steps? The Nazis are gone. Like, what do I do? No, he comes back. He's like, it's back to work.
It's time to re-up. Let's do it again. Give me my shield. Give me my suit. Let's get to it.
It's literally Kobe job's not done.
It's like,
Yeah.
job's not finished.
They find the Human Torch, not Johnny Storm. The original Human Torch from the Invaders, from the 40s, from the 1940s. The android. Yep. Tony finds him, tunes him up. Now he's more like the Vision in terms of his systems and how he thinks and like, but he's the Human Torch. Dr. Banner, working with the Maker. He's the Hulk. He's like some weird Buddhist Hulk that knows martial arts and stuff, but he's still the Hulk.
So like he found his Zed or something?
No, he's evil. He
Oh,
is
he's
an evil
just
bastard.
rogue.
No, he's
He thought he was gonna be good.
I thought he really.
No.
Oh, like
No,
as
no,
the
no.
Hulk, like just like picked up.
The reason, okay, and
No,
I'm
there's no peace and tranquility. He put on his forces today.
He said no. He put on the butters. He said, "Let's get you."
And
Got his
this
shiesty
feeds
on.
into the Ultimates version of the Hulk, which is She-Hulk. You know the nuclear test? I can't remember which island it was in the Pacific.
But it just blew up stuff, right? Yeah.
I forget which one. I know what you're talking
Anyways,
about.
in this universe, there was an indigenous people on that island. And from all the nuclear experiments and
my
gamma
goodness.
experience, the entire population gets disfigured and becomes like mutants. She basically just becomes the Hulk, but the rest of her people are just severely disfigured. Some
They're
of
all
them
just
have like
cooked.
kind of powers, but most of them are just cooked. Like they're just beyond repair.
So mutant, we're not thinking like X-Men mutant. Like some people have like spikes in
No,
their face
like
now.
Fallout
straight
mutant.
as, like
Fallout mutant.
Yeah, think
Like-
Hiroshima.
Oh.
Yeah. Think like, my skin looks like the dress I wore the day that the bombs fell. Yes.
You got drip on forever.
And I
Alright.
sound all over the place, but all these pieces matter, and they happen at different points in time. Even though the story is linear, the actual events for the story happen here, 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 here.
So I
Dude.
assume these like different issues that just kind of
So
line
Iron
up
Man
like
gets
that.
these guys together,
I know.
frees Thor from Asgard, has Lady Sif, has Captain America and the Human Torch, finds She-Hulk, and is like, all right, well, we need to get our own people to get back in the Maker. I have this list of people that he specifically targeted because they would be essentially just heroes to get in his way.
So like
Top of the list.
Happening.
Top of the list, Peter Parker.
So like how
Very
is this
top of
like
the list.
book wise? How's this happening?
Hold on, I'll get in there. So, he has this thing called an Immortus engine. Immortus in the original comic books is a variant of Kang.
Okay, so
Time
Daniel
travel.
Kang.
He creates capsules for everyone on that list, giving them abilities, powers, and equipment to basically just fight back against the Maker's world, right? Sends it back in time. So Spider-Man gets his powers at a point where the Ultimates are already like a terrorist organization.
Okay, so they go.
Like they're deemed terrorists by every government essentially because they're
But
fighting
still
against the
just,
Maker.
like, the heroes. Though.
So Spider-Man gets capsule. He's like, okay, this is weird. There's a spider in it, and it has this universe version of the symbiote.
Okay.
So it's
So
like
like
a
a
mesh
spider?
nano symbiote suit, AI, and it makes his suit, right?
That's okay.
He becomes Spider-Man. He is a whole dad, like beard, long hair, married to Mary Jane. Which pause.
Hey, shout out to my
No.
boy.
This Mary Jane is like the '90s Mary Jane, where like everyone loved her.
Okay, never mind. Yeah.
No, shout out
Like,
to
genuinely-
our guy.
Genuinely,
That's how
the eternal suffering of Peter Parker stops And he has two
Man,
kids.
brother.
He has 2 kids with Mary Jane. They are well within their marriage. Peter works at the Daily Bugle with his uncle,
Okay.
J. Jonah Jameson.
So he's actually
Aunt
happy.
May is the one that's
He
dead.
hasn't sold his soul.
He's actually
yet.
better. You know, he doesn't have them lines with his eyes. Like.
So he gets this video recording from Tony Stark saying, "You were meant to be the best of us, yada yada yada. Here's your superpowers. Your future was stolen from you. Here, we're getting it back." That's how it starts. That's how Spider-Man
Intro.
starts. Spider-Man canonically would start at around like issue 8 or 9 of Ultimates, but they started at the same time because it tracks in real life. Like our real life time is the same time passing in the comic book universe.
Okay.
So
try to
every
match it
issue
up
is
best
not
they can.
consecutive in terms of events. It is episodic in terms of the actual time passing. It is fantastic. And I didn't even talk about Wolverine.
I already know that one.
Ultimate
That was
Wolverine
bizarre.
is the Winter Soldier.
That is bizarre.
So how Bucky with the metal arm went through all the mind melting, became a super assassin? Because Europe is run by mutants. They, in the Winter Soldier program, pick up Logan. This hasn't been like fully written out, but it's implied. Pick up Logan, give him his claws, completely rewire his brain, right?
Didn't like remove his brain at one point.
No.
Was that somebody else?
No. It's basically Jean Grey, and that's how they rewire and brainwash everybody. Yeah. This man, absolute monster. Like, how he was in Weapon X and how he describes himself as being, like, animalistic. Think more like stone cold assassin.
So like,
With the animosity in his fighting style and how he kills things, but he's cold, calculated. He understands how to set traps, plan, all without
More
having
like
like a central
Beast-like.
consciousness. Like he's completely
so
being controlled.
before he gets like turned over, is he the same kind of Wolverine?
We had no idea.
Oh, you
Story-
only find him after
Story
he's caught.
starts like in one of his missions, and he's
Oh.
literally going after
So
the resistance.
after he's been brainwashed.
He's going
and
after
stuff.
like a mutant resistance faction against the current mutant government,
Mhm.
and they all recognize him
only
right
then.
as he kills them.
Bro's
Only-
ice.
Only then he's like,
Bro's ice. Bro's ice.
That's crazy.
And Jaden's not a fan of X-Men.
No,
the
I'm
way
not.
that they do X-Men, so they have Ultimate X-Men. I haven't really read it just because I found the art kind of.
Do love Magneto though. The GOAT.
No, he's the goat. The art's a little off-putting, and it's about like kids. So like having a mutant school potentially in the future makes sense because they're actually like kids, but they're not really familiar characters that we know about. Like the
Okay, that's
like,
cool.
So it's like a brand
Introducing
new
newer
thing.
people. I
Brand
like
new
that.
thing.
That's always good.
But Wolverine in like the first 2 issues kills Mystique,
So he's
Nightcrawler,
killing everyone we know and love.
Gambit, Kitty Pryde,
Nightcrawler.
and Nightcrawler's priest too. They make it sad because he's
He's
like,
a
"Oh, I know
priest?
you, dead." So Ultimate Comics right now, it's still very much in the beginning. They haven't hit issue 20 for anything yet.
Okay.
They're cooking, like they're just they're cooking so well. All the good parts about your characters are still within, like they're still written into their character.
Okay, so there's still some similar.
But there are
blocks.
very individual things about them separate from the conventional comic books.
Okay. This sounds
Venom,
very
for example, is Peter Parker's son with the black suit because Peter's like, oh yeah, this is an AI suit. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to wear it.
How old
Peter
is his
goes
son?
missing though, and Venom reaches out to his son individually and is like, hey dude, your dad's missing. What are we going to do about it? And then they become Venom. But Venom just looks like black suit Spider-Man. Like it's not like a monster. Like he gives like more of like a Robin Nightwing relationship with Spider-Man. Because he's like none of them are super scientists. Like they're quick, they're smart, they're sharp, but they're not like how Peter is in, starting Parker Industries, working at Horizon Labs, being in the Future Foundation. Like he's not like that.
So he's okay. He doesn't have the brain.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He's okay. I remember seeing like it was a different series, but similar thing. Like I'm not sure whose son it was, but like they paired up with Venom. Actually, no, yeah, it was Spider-Man.
It's Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah, paired up with him. Like he had like different powers with Venom.
Every dynamic
So that was
with
pretty
different
cool.
heroes and different villains, the dynamics are completely different for every single
pretty
comic
cool
book.
to see.
Red Skull in the Ultimates is just an older version of Bucky Barnes.
Was it the same version? Because I remember like I think it was Peter Parker's son who can control Venom from a distance. Was that the same?
No, Venom's his own AI.
Well, like no, like you could use because Venom had to fuse with somebody or something like that, and like some way somehow, I think it was might have been someone else, but like pretty much he was able to like help the Venom fuse from like a psychic power type thing.
That
I
might
gotta
have
read it
been
again. It
the
might have
King in
been-
Black storyline.
Okay, that's probably what it was.
That's
Something
completely
like
different. That's not Ultimate Comics.
Okay, so that's not Ultimate. Okay.
So the only connection with Ultimate Comics in the conventional universe is Miles Morales because he was saved. He's the sole survivor next to the Maker of that universe. So he kind of gets like zapped back in because the Maker straight up comes to him. He's like, "Hey man, want to go home?" And Miles is like, "Yo, back up or I'm gonna knock you out."
Come on, G.
Yeah.
So I bet.
It's a lot, and it's so intertwined and complicated because I find that the time travel aspect of Ultimates is actually written well. And the fact where it's just like, all right, well, they don't explore other heroes until they send back the pods. Then
So
they're
does
starting
that
to
slowly
explore
get back into.
Exactly.
Okay, so at this point, every book is at a different point in time.
No,
they're
it's
all
at
like
the-
fast
it's
forward.
at
They
the
all start
same
at the
point in
same.
time. The thing with Ultimates,
Everything's at 1 minute.
the
and
thing with
1 minute.
Ultimates is that it's weird because Ultimate starts out in its normal progression, but Spider-Man starts out at the same time because around issue 8 or 9, if I remember correctly, of Ultimates, they send back the time pods.
So that's when they
So
start
issue
the
1 of
timeline.
Ultimates, issue 1 of Wolverine, issue 1 of
Okay.
Spider-Man start in the relatively the exact same moment in
Are
time.
they still like kind of intermingled, or
They're
just kinda, like,
Well,
individual?
the intermingling comes from the Ultimates messing with time in like
Okay.
issue 8 or 9.
So it's how
Because
they
that's
catch
how the
themselves
different
in
pods and
stories.
stuff come out in issue 1. Then
Okay.
you see Ant-Man and the Wasp in like issue 5 with their powers and stuff. Hank Pym also not a piece of shit.
Gotta love it.
He's not. He's actually stupid. He's just like a blue collar guy. He was a pest control dude, and he gets his thing. He's like, I don't even want to use this because it scares me. Like Hank Pym's
Good guy,
character,
too.
completely different.
Okay.
I recommend if you don't know a lot about comic books and you want to get into a series to start, any of the new Ultimate comic books is great because they aren't too far along and the conventional wisdom of comics does not apply.
Okay, so it's not past.
Even if you
issue
don't know
20.
about the Maker, Ultimates explains the Maker and why he's a bastard. Like,
Okay, that's cool. It gets you some information because there's a lot of comic books. There's a lot of storylines, so that's pretty good if you want to. I guess not necessarily catch up, but like kind of get more information and learn about something. So I guess one thing I didn't hear. So is like each individual like storylines, like meaning like issue 1, I don't know, Thor, issue 2, Loki, or
No,
just
no.
kind of like
no.
people,
Oh,
like a group of people.
There's only a few lines for Ultimates, for Ultimate Comics right now.
Okay.
It's X-Men, Black Panther, Spider-Man, Ultimates, and
Okay.
Wolverine.
So there's like
There's
few,
5.
very few.
There's 5.
Okay.
And they're intertwined in a sense that real world events affect other characters. But
Okay.
because the Ultimates are the forefront of causing real world events, they have more control over other plot lines than the other ones do.
So kind of, you said
It's
about,
implied Spider-Man is about to go insane in terms of like his role in the overall plot. And I
Okay.
say it's implied because one, Oscorp Industries and Green Goblin, they're like best friends. Yeah, that's a whole other thing. But also Tony Stark, to my knowledge, has not individually visited anyone on that list except for Peter Parker.
okay. So he has the rest of the thing to check off.
Like
Is he even trying?
unless he recruited them for the Ultimates, he didn't visit them at all. He
He's
visited
not
Peter
even-
Parker. Yeah.
Not even thinking about him yet.
There's also Uncle Ben.
Is he still alive?
Yeah. Well, Aunt May's not alive.
Oh no!
Yeah.
There's
No!
got to be
So
something.
they traded him.
Like
They
I'd rather
traded
have
him
Aunt May.
because it's different.
I'd rather have Aunt May, man. Get out of here, Ben.
Nah, Uncle Ben cooks. Uncle
Get out of here,
cooks.
Ben. I don't mess with you, G.
Respectfully, it's even admitted in normal Spider-Man that if Uncle Ben stayed alive, he would have had much more structure and wouldn't have had to go through
Don't
someone
need him.
dying to
Don't
understand
need
how
him.
to be Spider-Man.
Aunt May all day. Too easy. Every time. What we talking about?
Maybe you're just trying to like lock down.
What?
You're just trying to lock down an inheritance or something.
Hey,
Like, I don't know what you want to do.
She's a go. She's a G. You know what I'm saying? She out cooking good food. What's the problem with that? Keep Aunt May
I
around.
know she's not cooking good food.
She cooking good food?
She a white woman from Queens. There's no way she's making good
From
food.
That's
Queens,
crazy.
From Queens, though. What are we talking about?
She might know how to make some good food.
She's not Italian. She's not.
From Queens, though.
Dude,
If Aunt May was in her 20s, would she win Love Island?
no.
She,
I mean, listen.
Hold on, do you want to know why?
Give me the
Because
benefit of the doubt.
she's a good person. She'd be voted
I don't
out.
know. She can shake it like Huda.
That's crazy.
No,
We talk about it all.
That's crazy.
If she was
I will
20.
say though,
if she was 20.
Huda was extremely skilled. I
Listen.
will say that.
Hey, listen, she got a
Listen.
I
5
didn't
to
say
9.
that.
Okay.
I didn't say that.
Legally, I did not say this.
Meg Thee Stallion said everyone get their money's worth for Peacock this episode, and she did not lie.
I gave my money and I didn't watch it.
That's on you.
That's crazy.
That's on
Can we
you.
take a moment and talk? So like last night, right? We're on the Discord. Was it last night?
I think
I
so.
think so. So like, am I tweaking for thinking Megan Thee Stallion's not attractive? Am I tweaking? Y'all two were like, oh, she the bomb.com.
Yo, he's so lucky chat is not like live.
Yo,
he's so
yo,
lucky we
chat.
don't
Please
stream.
tell me the chat if I'm right.
He's lucky we
Every
don't
face in
stream.
this room is looking at you like, what's wrong with
Yeah,
you?
What's
he's lucky.
that
He's
mean?
lucky we don't stream. Honestly.
What do you mean?
Even
They would
gay
agree with me
cancel.
regardless.
Even gay guys would crack. It's not even close.
I'm not feeling it.
That's.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
not feeling it.
One gay guy won't crack.
No, what? Nah, G, nah. That girl is about as tall as me. I'm not messing with that. That's okay.
What?
She's as tall
Yes,
as you?
she's about as tall as me.
She's like 6
Woohoo!
feet.
You know how tall she is?
I'm just shocked.
That's
that
a
She's
big
tall.
person.
I don't care.
That's a huge person.
She's a stallion.
That's a lineman right there.
That's a bad thing?
She's a stallion.
Is that a bad thing?
I don't know.
Being
She got like a
tall
manly
bad
voice
now?
to her a little bit. I'm feeling it.
Girls, is being tall
She's a
unattractive?
stallion.
She's 5'10", you're 6'4", there's no comparison.
We awfully close.
What?
I'm
It's just off.
I'm gonna disregard that just because that's
What you
just
mean?
we don't need to talk about this. We're
That's
talking about Love
blasphemy.
Island right now.
Hey, you
That's
know what I'm
blasphemy.
saying?
Luckily,
That's
there's
not
worse
right.
people on Love Island currently that are somehow worse than that take. So.
Yeah.
What are you cooking me for?
So you didn't do your homework, which is fine because I did.
I didn't have homework. I told you I don't have Peacock.
That's the same thing, bro. You didn't have a pencil or paper. That's fine, but you still didn't do your homework.
No, that
Anyways,
was
we
the,
don't
that
talk
was the
about
wackest shit.
We don't talk about it. Listen, bro, I miss
I'm
homework.
not gonna crash out right now. All right, you didn't bring a pencil and paper. You still need homework, bro.
I
What?
still didn't do it. It's not turned in.
I don't have Peacock. What you want from me? I'm not subscribing to Peacock to look at.
I find that as an insufficient answer only because Love
Insufficient?
Island every season is everywhere on every social media, and you can basically watch entire episodes.
Kind of.
No, you can watch
You
entire
miss
episodes.
so
on
much
Twitter.
context constantly.
You can watch entire episodes on Twitter. I'm not even lying.
Dog, I'm not trying to
Reddit
watch Love Island like
exists,
that.
and the subreddits for Love
If I
Island.
can't
get
watch it all at once, I'm not hitting it.
unhinged.
I could send you illegal sites like right now.
You
So
go
watch
streamies. You go streamies.
Yeah.
You go streamies.
Hey, listen.
How to
Hey.
twerking.
I got
Yeah.
Hey, let me know.
Nah.
Let me know.
Let
Let me know.
You did see that, though,
Hey,
which
listen.
is crazy.
So you saw the twerking, but you're not seeing Love Island.
You're
I don't see
deviant.
nothing.
That's deviancy.
That's devious.
That's
Anyways.
deviancy.
I ain't seen nothing at all.
This past episode, my structure of who I liked and who I hated flipped in one episode. One. Alandria.
Mine didn't
Who's
flip.
that one?
Mine stayed the same.
Who's Alandria?
Dark skinned girl, 28.
She's the
girl-
oldest one in the villa.
Yeah, she's the
oldest
oldest
one
one.
in
Braids.
Oh, okay.
She
okay.
she has like the ideal model figure
Mhm.
in terms of like what agencies want to look for, which is why she's still a model at 28. Respectfully,
I
that
don't know
industry
about
is
that,
ruthless.
but okay.
Anyways, they had a challenge this week where they write down the biggest problem that they got with somebody, put it in a mailbox, and they are given the option to sign their name.
Don't tell me like they read this stuff out.
Oh, yeah. In front of everyone. You have
On a
to read
podium
it
in front of everybody.
It's
So
aired out
I won't
business,
go over
huh?
what
Okay.
everyone said, but let me recap some of these characters
Well,
just so that you can understand.
It's like no people.
No.
Ain't no script.
No, let me recap some of these
Mm.
characters. I say characters because I don't want to believe that people like this exist.
Unfortunately,
I don't want to believe that. Should we start with the guys or the girls?
I feel like you should start with the girls because it will
I will
flow
pick,
into the guys.
I will
Okay.
pick the girls that I think are relevant towards the ongoing, I guess,
It's
sad.
still like 8 and 8.
I'm gonna air quote like plot for Love Island.
Well,
Basically,
how many girls are there?
oh, I don't count.
There's like 6.
I only pay attention
Okay,
to like
six.
4.
About 6.
What's that? Don't count. What?
I only pay attention to 4. Only 4 matter. There's Hutta, Alandria,
Okay.
Shelly.
and
Sierra.
There's Amaya too, but Amaya is not problematic. So
These
we're
names
just
sound very interesting.
first of all,
What I
Amaya, top girl right now. She's doing great. I feel so bad for her.
She's like a good, like I should root for her, like a good person.
Everyone should root for her.
Because she's the least malicious person there.
And by that, I mean she needs to be voted off the island so she can find a real man.
Oh, she it's bad.
No, like
Okay.
she's actually trying
Like,
to.
she's actually
genuine,
trying to find love.
a.
But it's literally like trying to find chocolate and shit. Like,
Is that bad?
No, it is.
it is.
Oh.
It's that bad.
Is that bad?
It's that bad.
It's
What's
that
going
bad.
on?
So,
Free her. What?
where should we start? Should we
No,
start
for
with
real.
I don't know. HR, who should we start with?
Yeah.
Start with the Mean Girls Club. That's the biggest thing. Right
Okay,
Mean
so
Girls
yeah,
Club?
there's three. There's Sierra, Alandria.
Start with Sierra because I think it will
Let's-
flow. Yeah, it will flow into all of it. Because
Well,
Sierra
we
gets in
need to follow
everyone's
Love Island.
business.
What's
Sierra,
going on,
so
Mean
Sierra
Girl?
gets in everybody's business. She
Oh,
tries to
that's bad.
socially engineer the entire villa,
Wow.
and it works. But the thing about social engineering is that once you're discovered, you're done.
Why are you
You're just done.
explaining it like a psychology major?
Yo, Jaden, shut up the yapping. I'm listening. All right, keep going, G.
I'm speaking
Don't
his
worry
language.
about him.
I'm speaking his language. Relax.
Hit me with it.
Okay, so she is paired up with
Someone
this
bring
guy.
out the popcorn. Where the popcorn at?
With this guy Nick.
Hmm.
I didn't like both of them. I thought Nick was funny, but I didn't really like him. One, because he's a nurse from Miami. That is two big fat red flags. Nurse, Miami.
A nurse doing what?
It doesn't matter. He's a nurse from Miami.
Like, he can work in a
There-
hospital.
just like how 1 + 1 is 2, nurse plus Miami equals super slut. Like there's just no other reasoning behind it.
I'm not sure about that, but keep it cooking. All right.
It's okay because I'm dead.
I have no idea about that because I could be innocent, just live in Miami.
Yeah. Okay, but you're not a nurse. You got to be both.
So
You gotta be both.
I'm a nurse. Oh, never mind. Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's
Just so
right.
everyone knows, he got shown a
Never mind.
picture of Nick and
Never
Sierra
mind.
and immediately
so
flipped his
and
head.
Sarah is from LA, which you can already
Never mind.
You can
Yo,
already-
shout out HR.
shout out HR.
HR for once.
Whoa, he gonna get fired.
Bro, I have so many complaints in. It's like, I gotta complain about HR now.
Anyway, go on.
Listen.
Anywho,
Anyways,
yeah.
Sierra just gets in everyone's business. Nick, kind of the same way, except he's just not as good at it. And the guys don't really require a lot of like social nudging and like manipulation
He's trying to put
because
himself in the middle.
one, 3 of them are the only ones with a brain in their skull, and the rest just kind of just get pulled along by their collar by whoever's tugging. Like it's that easy. Like the guys are stupid.
Meat
Sierra,
is free,
though, wants people to confide in her. She hears about everything. She be telling people to do something just so that she can go to her little girls club with Shelly and Alandria and
Sorry,
bite them in the
so
ass
bad.
later. She sucks. And I never liked her. I thought she was pretty. I'm like, yeah, I can understand why people think she's gorgeous because she is. But she's just mean. She's just mean. She's just
It
mean.
sucks.
No,
Yeah.
but explain to them the question she got asked in her response.
No, she
Why they
asked
hate
the
her.
question. She didn't get asked it.
No, she got asked the question.
What was her question?
You don't. Okay. So,
I don't remember, dude. Do you know how electric that episode was?
So the question she got asked by Pepe, which is a guy on the show. He had a connection with.
Oh, with a girl named Hannah. I got it. So
Okay.
earlier, see, this is why you gotta watch because there's so many.
Someone
movies-
finish the
This-
sentence,
this-
please.
No, pause. Because
Like,
this
I
is
need
literally 3 episodes out from the finale, so everything that happened previous in the season is just
Mm.
coming to explode right now. Pepe had a connection with this girl named Hannah. Genuine connection. Pepe, cool as fuck. Super
Okay, we rock
cool.
with Pepe.
Hannah wasn't
OG.
really a fan.
Mhm.
Just personally, I thought she was a little bit annoying, airhead, yada yada. Didn't matter. I didn't think she was a bad girl because I'm like, yeah, she likes this guy, they like each other.
Just confirm. That's true.
Perfect. These 3 bitches conspire to get Hannah out. They vote her out over this girl, Hada. Right? It was Hada.
Yeah.
What they say?
Hold on, Amaya.
No.
Oh, they saved
way.
Amaya, which
What?
I can't be too mad because
Give
I
the
like Amaya.
reasoning on why they kicked him.
So they kicked Hannah out because what they say is, well, she already had a chance. She was on her second person exploring a relationship, yada yada. So they
That's what
kicked her out
you're
for
supposed to
playing the game that they were supposed to play.
So what you're supposed to be doing?
She was
Playing it
actively
better.
coupled up.
She was actively coupled up with someone, and they were on.
So she winning.
They
and
were
they're
on
hating.
fast track to close out before anybody
So they
else.
try to make it out. They just want to bring
They
it
got
down.
her out. They just said, "Yeah, no, we just think you had your chance."
What?
So when Pepe asked Sierra at this challenge, "Why'd you get her out?" They regurgitated the same bullshit. No one believed it. You can see everyone's face in the crowd like.
Talk about something. I think you guys are good. Something
And
like that.
Sierra just doubled down. She's like, she already explored some connections, and I felt like Amaya deserved another chance. Which this is the villa. You don't deserve shit in the villa.
There's no such thing as deserving
No,
a
deserve
chance.
what?
Of it.
Like-
It's either you're coupled up with someone. Usually, the
Or you're
people
not.
who get coupled up on the show, you have an extra amount of grace because you're still in a connection with
inherently
someone.
you're safer
right.
because challenges are designed around trying to break
You want
couples,
pairs,
and if you
right?
aren't official, you are at risk more for getting screwed with by another, a resident of the villa. So when you're closed, the person participating and the person and the partner, I guess, which usually does an action towards the actual person in a relationship, cools it down. They're not really doing it because they're like they're together, and
Okay.
I'm not trying to get burned right now.
Okay. So I saw this one clip with this dude who had dreads.
Taylor, his name's Taylor.
Okay, what was going on with that?
Okay, wait.
We'll
'Cause I
get there.
remember,
Pause.
Okay,
Oh, that's
so
something else.
go to Elandria
Okay.
next because
So
that will flow
that was
into
the culmination of Sierra. She doesn't necessarily that's Taylor.
Yes.
That's Elandria.
Shout out
Okay?
HR again.
Shout out
That's
HR again.
interesting. All right. Go to HR. All right.
Taylor, I just think is corny. Beyond that, I think he's great. Nothing wrong with him. He's a cool dude. He's funny. I can understand why the girls think that he's cute. But there are some challenges where he would do some stuff, and I'm like, ick. I'm like, ugh. He's just corny. There's nothing wrong with that. He's a country boy from Oklahoma.
That's a whole lot right there. Okay.
So, this is gonna feed into why Elandria went from top to bottom.
What she do? What she do?
Casa Amor comes around.
Okay. Ooh.
They
You have to give the
they're-
further context.
yeah,
They've
yeah.
been talking. To
They've
each
been
other
talking
for
since
4
day
weeks.
one. Since day one.
So they OGs.
Yeah, they
switched
OGs.
up.
My fault. They OGs. Casa Amor comes around. He goes and meets this
Time to
other
split
girl.
up.
What's her name?
Clark.
Clark. Even I'm like, she's bad as hell.
Mhm.
She's cool,
Right.
and she actually knows how to talk to Taylor. Because a weird thing that I always see with Elandria and Taylor, previous to Casa Amor, is that Elandria demanded Taylor intellectually stimulate her every time they conversed. Every
So you
single
can't
time.
have fun no more. You gotta have
Exactly.
that
No.
mutual.
Exactly. No, exactly that.
A mind
So
bending
Taylor,
television.
in his rationalization, this is speculation on my part, because I'd be watching. He's like,
Bros, be analyzing for real. Okay.
he's like, all right, people leaving left and right.
Mm.
I got this girl who's about me. She's friends with other girls. I'm in a good spot right now. Let me see what I can do with her. If I feel something, if I can develop these feelings that I kind of have for her.
Scoping the scenery out.
She's gorgeous. She's smart. I can,
Mhm.
he meets Clark. Clark, by Taylor's own words, gives him that kid feeling again.
Oh, wait a minute.
So Landria, cooked.
Wait a minute.
Challenge comes at the end of the Casa Amor event. That's Clark. Hold up, show him a body profile.
Yeah.
No, I'm not even
Shout
lying. He
out
doesn't
my
get
boy,
it.
man.
He doesn't get it yet. He genuinely does not get it yet.
Body is tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, HR's pulling it up.
Hey, listen,
Smoke
boy.
show.
Yeah,
Like,
you made the right
genuinely.
choice.
And, at the end of the Casa Amor event, they're required to write down who they would rather have on a tablet thing, flip it
Okay.
around. That's who you got.
You gotta be like,
He writes Clark.
Who?
Everyone's like, shut up! No way!
He's not. Come on.
Elandria is supposed to be gone. Gone.
Mhm.
And what the producers are like, do you want to stay?
Yeah, so Elandria kicked off, and then
Uh-huh.
the producers was like, you could leave, or you could
Well,
go.
not in that episode though. That was,
It was-
when before that challenge, there
Yeah.
was another recoupling at Casa Amor. No one at Casa Amor picked her.
Yeah.
So her and Nick were supposed to go home.
And at the villa,
God.
Nick was kicked off, and then they gave him the chance of you can go home, or you can stay if you
So
guys
let
pair
her-
up.
Which speaks
Let her stay.
speaks back to Sierra of her literally just playing around with whoever.
What?
while also being like, Hannah got her chance. Anyways, besides the point.
That's crazy. What's going on?
Hold on. See, this is why you just need to just suck it up and buy it for a month. Just
Yeah.
watch it.
I might just have to.
And
Legal sites? All right.
I got you.
All right.
shoot, you probably watch it on a adult site at this point. Like considering how this season's been, yeah, it'll
Nah,
definitely
help us block
qualify.
in Texas.
I'm shocked that
So-
he knows that.
So
I was like, where'd you get that information?
yeah, how do you know that? Hold on.
What are you saying?
HR?
Yeah, HR, check that.
No, no, yeah, he's getting back on topic.
If
What are we
this
talking
doesn't
about?
get
I know he's
out,
getting. I know
What
we're
happened
talking.
with what's his face in the
Taylor and
Yeah,
Clark.
yeah,
A pink slip will be on
yeah.
your desk tomorrow morning.
So Taylor and Nick, they're safe. They're back at the villa.
Okay.
Nick and Sierra, they're like, let's close it out. Blah, 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 blah. And everyone's like, oh my god, congratulations. Yeah. Who cares about them? They suck. Alandria goes up to Clark. Big bitch energy. She like, you just the test for me and Taylor. Yada yada yada
What?
yada
Like, you
yada.
took
Start
my man,
talking
okay.
down to her, demeaning her. Meanwhile, Clark, she's just cool. Like she's like, I get it. Like it sucks. I know. Yada yada. But at the end of the day,
more points. Yeah.
Clark is chill because she's like, he picked me and he not even talking to her.
Mm.
Taylor is not even talking to Alandria. And Alandria is like, you just a test for our connection. Da 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 da.
Naturally.
Yada yada yada. So we fast forward to this challenge, right?
Okay.
To
That's
be fair,
before
though, to
Joe.
shoot her just a slight bit of bail, he did say that he was open to still exploring their connection.
But
He did
That
say
fool better not mess
But
up.
no.
the second recoupling, he was fine with her leaving. Because when he put the second he put Clark's name on his piece of paper, he was like, I'm okay if Landria leaves this fucking island. I don't care.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. He made
Oh.
it without explicitly telling Alandria, I don't like you anymore. He made it very clear, not interested.
Don't want nothing to do with her.
Yeah, to the point where all the other dudes were like, yeah, we know what's going on. And if the dudes pick up on what's going on, there's no excuse for a woman at the island who just objectively knows how to analyze a social situation better than the dudes do. There's no excuse for her to not do
She
it.
should not be
But the
uninformed.
dudes kept Alandria.
The
They're
dudes
the ones
kept
who kept
Alandria
her?
there.
Yeah.
Well, you have to
They-
understand the social dynamics. They
Yeah.
all of them are defending Alandria at this point, and they're all mad at Taylor, so they're not trying to catch heat
Oh, so they
themselves.
So-
flipped on boy. Okay.
They tried to. The
What?
chill dudes that I was talking about, like Pepe, who else?
TJ.
TJ, dude, the guys that aren't garbage were indifferent
Okay.
to supportive, like on that spectrum.
Okay.
And all the other garbage humans there,
They're just saying.
they're just like, Alandria should have.
Mm.
So, come challenge time, Alandria writes a card to Taylor, like, pick right now, me or her. After just
I
going on a
heard.
tirade, saying this some bullshit. I was super real with you. I put in the time, the effort. You nothing. That like going in on him,
Saucy.
just straight up going in on him.
Mm.
Then she's like, pick her or me.
That
Taylor,
was
like,
pick me.
I picked Clark. And everyone's like, and then he's like, well, you know, the assumption for this game is we here to play for like ourselves, but
Yeah,
you
gotta
want me to
get
play
your
for
man.
you. And then all the yappers,
Crickets, huh?
No, it was a bar.
the
Crickets.
silence was definitely Taylor for the first time in this whole series stood on business, and my opinion of him went from he alright to this a G.
That's my go.
Like he finally said, "Hey
Man.
y'all, shut up! I'm here to win." And honestly, I hope Taylor and Clark win.
Hey,
That's just my opinion. That's my opinion.
I don't know how you're gonna go.
We
off
ain't
on
got to
somebody.
Shelly though.
There's more.
Shelly is with this guy named Ace.
Ace a short dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
dangling his
Shelly.
feet. So yeah.
That's Shelly.
Okay.
Also, drop dead gorgeous. If she was a better person, she'd win. Like it's like that. Like it was that easy for some of these people. They just had to not be bad people, and they would have been
better.
sailing through. Her and Ace have like a weird, complex relationship. They
I don't
bounce.
think it's weird and complex.
It's like
I
open?
think they don't like each other,
I do
and they
too.
think they just find each other attractive.
I'm talking about
and
the
that's
context
it.
of the show. Not our own speculation.
Trying to
Based
get
off the
Jiggy on the
evidence that
island.
we've
What's
seen
wrong
on the
with that?
show, they swing like a pendulum between now we locked in to no, we're exploring. No, let's lock in. No, we're exploring. So Ace is frustrated because he isn't the one to tell her no, I'm not. I don't like that. I'm not gonna tell you. Like, he's straight up was like, I'm not gonna tell you how to do you and how to do us.
Okay.
However, I want that energy reciprocated. So when Ace was up on the podium and someone was like, "Oh, I feel like you like crossed Shelly or something like that." What was the card? It was something like that, right?
the question Ace got asked was about Jeremiah, but that's not the important part for this
No.
conversation.
So but he basically
He
made it
asked Shelly, "Hey, why can't we like move forward with like being closed off? And
why are you putting boundaries?
why are you putting boundaries on us if that's not what we're moving to?"
So he basically asked, "Why are you trying to put boundaries on me if you're
want still
to keep
exploring.
just
Still wanna be
exploring?"
open and do
And
things.
she makes some BS like, "Well, it was both of us." You know, like it was both of us, and
No, it's even
I
worse
wanted
than
you to be
that.
comfortable during that challenge, but I still wanted to explore other connections outside of it.
She's not answering the question.
Not
Her response to that question of why are you putting boundaries if you're still exploring is, oh well, and whenever I say I want to explore, it's a problem. That's not what he's saying. He doesn't care about you exploring. It's
The boundaries
if
were the
you
problem.
are exploring, why are there boundaries?
That was the
we
entire
should have
point. She
equal-
couldn't answer. She literally just said, "I do what I want." That was like the crux of her response.
That's the
yeah.
period. I do.
No. Like her answer was, it exposed her as wanting her cake and eating it too. She wanted to keep Ace as like backup in case she can't find another. And
If
Ace
she can't be with Chris, and she also has a problem with
So,
Chris.
so no,
so she
we're
has
not talking
someone
about
she
Chris
really
Hudda. No,
wants.
this
She has
feeds into
someone-
Chris and Hudda. This
She wa-
feeds into Chris and Hudda.
Okay.
So Hudda, crash out queen, twerk queen, midnight ballerina,
That's a long
who
time.
I still think is a manipulative abuser type that has not changed. However, I do think the way that these girls turned on Hudda was BS. It was complete
like-
BS. Because they called Hudda out for things that these girls encouraged her to do. Hudda, Chris is
He
6'5"
came from
playing.
Casa Amor.
6'7".
He
Oh,
came
that's
from
the
Casa
basketball
Amor.
player?
He's 6'7", played basketball.
Oh,
Overseas, he's an overseas professional
overseas basketball player.
Yeah, and he's good.
Okay.
And he's good.
Okay.
So
He won.
Hudda goes up to the podium. Hudda goes up to the podium and she's like, "I know I'm finna get a fat stack," because the crash out. Everyone saw how she treated Jeremiah. How she was literally just like inserting herself into relationships to try and like wedge herself in between couples to save herself.
Oh.
Like genuinely, that was like a 4-episode long arc where.
break up people.
Well, people were like, "Oh, she's trying to she's fixing herself. She's playing the game." Like, no, you don't see. Like, she's inserting herself into places to see what's weakest, to splinter them, to slide.
Yo.
No. But the way I respect her is because she did it successfully. She did it so well. She did it so well to the point where I was watching. I'm like, I think Hudda got depth to her, and then I have to snap myself back. Like, no, she's crazy and abusive. Like, no, like I don't believe it. So
got fooled, huh?
Casa Amor, Shelly's with Chris, and Hudda kind of like snags him basically.
No,
Not gonna
they
snag
she also likes Chris, and so Hudda's not coupled up with anyone back at the main villa. So she can bring him back.
Yeah.
And they both agree. Shelly is still with Ace.
Yeah.
But they both agree when they go back, they both can talk to Chris.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what happens is
It's on
what happens
tape.
is that Hudda and Chris are coupled up because that's how they get back to the villa.
Okay. Playing the game.
Shelly
Alright.
does not make a single effort to talk to Chris. Tries to put all the work onto Chris while Hudda working this man. Working this
I mean,
man.
they
Wow.
picked each other. They picked each other.
They picked each other.
in the coupling, so they like each other enough.
Okay.
Ace or Shelly picked Ace, so she wants to
okay
stay
with a whole other
him.
man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, the point of that is Shelly fumbled Chris because she wanted to have
She wanted
her
to be
cake
chased.
and eat it too.
So you wanted the basketball player to come chase after you.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what she wanted. That's exactly what she
What?
wanted. However, Hudda, because Hudda is just talented. Like she knows how to work
So
somebody
what?
genuinely. Like
She knows how to turn the charm on and like.
so
Make it-
quick.
okay.
And how I figured that out is because she would talk to dudes just straight up like eyes for one guy or eyes for one girl, and they would entertain it even though they'd reject her later. And to normal people, they'd be like, "Oh, well, she failed anyway." So like, no, that was like a 15-minute conversation of straight flirting,
I mean, like,
and it was just
if you always chase someone's opinion, that's pretty good.
she's damn good.
That's
She's
pretty
damn
good
at
at
it.
Like, you can be like,
And-
that's pretty good.
What was Hudda's card? There was
She had a lot.
she had one
I
by
bet she
Shelly because
The heart rate challenge.
the heart rate challenge was basically get someone's heart rate up.
Oh,
Pick another
yeah.
person, yeah. Hudda went to Ace, got his heart rate up.
She raised it the most.
She raised it
And
the
that
most.
really
So
made
what's up?
Shelly upset.
Shelly was pissed off.
Oh.
Even
Because
Keep in
Huda
mind.
did too much.
Huda did too much. Keep in mind, this same girl and the two other girls, Sierra and Alandria, are like, it's just a challenge. Stop flipping out. So they tell
And it's
Huda-
double hypocritical for Shelly because Shelly double backed.
Exactly.
She do it 2
She
times?
double backed.
She
Yep.
went back
Yep.
to
She's 2
him.
times. No.
Yep.
Hold on. So the entire season, it has been these 3 girls telling Huda, don't crash out at Jeremiah, it's just a challenge. Don't crash out at this guy, it's just a challenge, just a challenge. So by the time she's there and it's just a challenge, granted, I know Huda knows she's doing too much and likes to fall back on the it's just a challenge now, which is what they tried to call her out for. But no. They were just like, you did too much. And Huda was like, you guys have been telling me it's just a challenge this whole time. Why are you guys flipping out? And they really just don't have a good answer. There's like, well, you just did too much. Like, just clicking up.
What happened to this
Nick,
challenge?
Nick has been one of her sole friends this whole time. Nick and Huda have just been friends. He
Mm.
writes a card saying, I think you should have been out like week 3.
What?
No, he
That's
asked
supposed to be
even
the
no,
homie?
he asked an even worse question, which is, why do you think you deserve to be here
Yeah.
still?
Yeah.
They're supposed to be friends?
And they're supposed to be friends.
Like-
Real snake. So him and Sierra,
What?
perfect. They're
12
perfect.
hours earlier, he was like, I'm here for you.
Literally in the same episode. I'm not even like, he's like, I'm here for
I
you.
got your back.
They
It's
walk
like,
up,
what
they're
are
like,
you
hey
doing?
twin, what's up? Blah, blah, blah.
That's
And
crazy.
she's like, I'm really glad I have you. Like, I'm so glad you pulled me for a
She-
chat. It means a lot.
She like genuine, like again manipulator, but like genuinely being like,
What
we're
is
cool,
going
we're
on?
friends. Like, so Nick burns that bridge for whatever reason.
What?
The clique basically try and turn on her.
Mm.
Next up is Chris. So Huda goes down and she's like freaking out. She's like crying. Understandably so,
I mean,
because Alandria. starts
Also,
airing
Alandria
out- She starts airing out
blows
all
up
Huda's
the
business.
spot.
Ooh, okay.
On the spot.
Let
Not prompted.
HR take this.
What was the question that caused Landry to do that? Because it was like,
I don't remember.
It was like they're throwing around the term "girls girl" a lot.
Which-
No,
Huda
it
got
was
caught.
off of Shelly's
It's off of
question
Shelly's
Yeah, it was
question,
off of
yeah.
Shelly's
about
Okay,
asking why did you
okay.
do too much.
And then
no. It was like, why are you acting like you're moving for me when
Yeah.
you're just selfish? And Huda's like, no, I asked Chris to pursue you. Like, you're being
you're being dramatic.
dramatic.
And she has. She's
Okay.
She
asked her
straight up
multiple
asked,
times like, hey.
roll the tape. No, just like roll the tape. She's like, hey, feel free to still explore, but I like us.
Mm.
So they kiss,
Mm.
and Alandria just airs it out. She's like, so why'd you guys kiss in the
Yeah.
whatever
She's like,
room?
Which again is doubly hypocritical of her.
Because
Said
she
let's
made out with Nick when they
So
were single. Before Sierra and Nick officially just sealed it up, Alandria and Nick just made out,
So we just lose.
started
out.
macking,
we
Yeah.
just,
all that.
We just
Yeah.
lose.
And one of the other girls asked Sierra after Sierra's like, "Oh yeah, they just did that." One of the other girls was like, "Are you okay with that? Like, that's your girl and your man."
Well, soon not,
Like,
right?
She didn't know. She's like,
She's like, oh,
should I be?"
You think I should be?
Yeah. What?
So Alandria,
It's a mess, man.
Alandria takes it as, she's like, oh, if you're so like selfless and like you don't care, why don't you go ahead and tell the class? And Huda's like, what are you talking
What are you talking about? Like,
Oh.
Alandria's like, you kissed Chris.
Oh.
everyone's like, but
And keep in mind, no,
What?
and it's even worse because Alandra, this is the third time she has done, like, aired out
she
some
done
of
talked
the
out of
stuff.
turn 3 times.
She's out here calling people's business out like that?
Yes.
No,
What?
the most foul thing Alandra has done has been telling, when she told, I forgot, what's his name, Austin, that she's a mother.
Yeah.
No, that's Huda.
No.
Oh no,
no,
Alandria
yeah.
told Austin
Yeah.
that Huda was a
Austin.
mom.
Austin
Yeah.
was like, she's a mom, and Alandria was like, oh.
Like, why would you tell people
That's
that?
not your business.
That's
so,
none
yeah.
of her business.
Exactly. And so Alandria, I always thought
So
like
she's
yeah,
messy.
I always thought she was smart and that she was calculated and she was like just okay. I never thought like she was
Nah.
like I was not under the impression she was good.
Messy.
No.
What?
I thought she knew how to play the game. This I'm just like oh no you were lucky, like you were just lucky that no one spoke out of turn. But these girls because
She was lucky that Taylor is just so, like, passive that he wasn't gonna.
But she
blow
miscalculated
up
with
the
Taylor.
spot.
because Taylor was just like, no.
Because Taylor actually found something he liked, and she pushed him to like.
She didn't account for that Taylor would find something, a better connection with somebody else, because that's how conceited she is.
Miss an intellectual conversation over here. Didn't figure that
Demanded
out.
every time, every single time.
About,
She wouldn't let
teach me
anyone.
something every time
She
we
wouldn't
speak.
let anyone else like do anything to her, touch her, nothing like that. She's like, you have to mentally stimulate me first, and it's like, okay, this is Love Island. Respectfully, we're all like monkeys here that want to just like get on each
We got
other.
here because we're all attractive. That's
Find
it.
love is just the excuse to bang everyone at the villa. Like,
Come on, what?
yeah, like
No, but even if that wasn't the case, and there's like, you can't demand someone to like intellectually stimulate. You want to have a conversation about politics every time you talk to somebody?
no, absolutely
You
not.
don't like.
time.
They
we
don't
we
chill.
have
They don't
fun
do
no more.
anything.
We just
No, they
No.
don't relax.
let me
They
say
don't-
by the current economic state.
Literally,
Like what? Yeah, like, what?
every time Taylor would talk to Alandria, there'd be like small smiles and stuff, but I could see in that boy's face he would tire.
I'd be tired too.
But she doubles down.
Tweet
Like
me first.
she thinks it's dumb that Taylor has a childlike feeling with Clark.
So no.
Childlike.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, she demeans him.
child?
We're all over the place because this is just how messy this season has been. So please, guys, keep track.
Hey, lock it. Someone pull out the chalkboard. Get
Unlike this guy, watch the show and you'll get it.
Hey, I'm gonna have to watch it now.
I try to tell you.
I'm gonna have to watch it now. This is
So Taylor's up there on the podium, and they basically demanded why Clark over Landry, and he's just like, when I met her and talked to her, I had this childlike feeling, and she like, you 25.
she's 28.
He said I had this childlike feeling. She's like, you 25, you grown. Why you need that? And you
And
wonder
he's
why
like-
she's 28 and single.
Yeah.
Something wrong with her. I don't like.
Yeah.
something wrong with
Yes.
No, that last episode exposed why she's
Everything.
been by herself and like as single as she complains to be for so long. It explains all of it.
It just
Every
makes
time I
sense.
talk
It just
to
makes
you,
sense.
Simulation, make
Um,
rules for people, not others. Like what? They're
Yeah.
now pissed.
So we go back to Huda. Huda's just a mess. Chris, if I could, I get one of these. Yeah, dab me up. I give him because he was up there and he's like, no, I'm interested in Huda. I'd like to pursue this with her. And you know what? She encouraged me to go.
But who asked that question though?
Sierra.
It was Sierra. So Sierra asked, "Are you even
Oh.
here for a reason?" And he's just like,
Oh.
"Nah, I like Huda. I want to pursue
So he
things with
turned.
Shelly, but she didn't want to give me no time of day. And Huda is someone I'm really interested in, and I actually like her a lot. We was coupled up. Yeah, we kissed. Okay." And then they're like, "Oh, well, are you just here for, you just wanted to get in the villa?" He's like, "I could be playing ball overseas. I don't need this."
Bar!
No, that was a-
Insane.
Again, everyone,
Man,
crickets.
this tea is crazy.
You see
Like,
Pepe?
yo.
You see Pepe over there like? He out there like, yo, this was spitting.
Hey, how to fumble a bag 101 right there. What are we talking
So
about?
those are the characters of interest. There's also another character, Austin. I hate him.
What's he doing?
Think of criminally negligent himbo. So Amaya,
That's
can
crazy.
you pull a picture of Amaya?
Yes.
Okay, him and Amaya were together for a hot minute,
Okay.
and she was about him. He was about her, and this boy is like, "Ooh, I'm scared," so just fumbles, just stops talking to her.
Oh.
Stop doing everything. We'll tell the guys almost everything. We'll never communicate to Amaya.
That's Maya.
That's Amaya.
What are we doing?
Hold up, body shot. He didn't know.
Yo,
Every time-
asking HR
Every
for a
time
body
it's a
shot's
body
crazy.
shot.
No, it's so important because you don't know how this man fumbled.
Hey, listen, HR, you should lock it out of this pod. That's all I'm saying. Oh.
You don't know how much he fumbled. So she is Dominican from New York.
I'm sure you Austin.
She's Dominican from New York. So she's very affectionate
Middle
in
black.
how she pursues romance.
Okay.
This Austin guy, white boy.
So
So
I'm late for that.
he's like,
Yeah,
I'm a little
HR's
bit
pulling it up.
overwhelmed.
I'm pulling it
Late
up.
for that.
It's just you.
Ace calls him out and basically says,
That's Austin.
Looks like a douche.
dude, I ain't not.
The
Like,
way he talks, Zach put it perfectly. He talks manually.
yeah. He manually speaks. And you can tell that's how he is because the speed of which he talks
He
is
has
so
to pull
slow
every
and drawn
muscle,
out.
every word out
And
of
like
his brain.
you know,
crazy.
I really like her. It's just that it's a lot and I don't know how to handle
What if
it.
he has a speech problem, guys? Come on.
No.
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 He got
He's
a
just
brain
I'm-
problem. He
I'm
doesn't
trying to
speak-
help bro out here. I don't know.
Nah, don't help him out. He fumbled and he treated Amaya like crap. Because Amaya, again, top of the list right now. Top of the list.
She's our number one.
She's not in a couple right now.
Oh, she by herself.
She's
Yes.
the
Yeah,
nicest
she's
one.
the
She has no one
nicest, and
running
in my
her social
opinion,
media.
probably
with
the
Zach.
most attractive out of all the women right there.
She's with Zach. She's coupled up.
Not anymore. After this episode, so okay, let's get into Amaya and Zach. We don't have to extend this pod because this is juice. Amaya and Zach. Zach is this British dude. I don't know why he's on Love Island USA. Respectfully,
Yeah,
I'm a supremacist right now. If you gonna be in
USA.
the UK, you gonna be,
USA.
that's Zach. His tattoos are sick.
Is that dude not Asian?
He is.
He is
He's
Asian.
Asian.
He is.
Ah.
And he has an
He has an
accent.
undercut. And he's got a thick British accent, which is why it mystifies me that he's on Love Island USA. I just don't get it.
Looking
Anyways,
for guys,
he's
like-
cool. No, like he's cool. But his social understanding of situations are British, not American.
Ooh.
So I give him grace in how he handles Amaya because he was kind of like Austin, where he was just like overwhelmed. But it's just he doesn't know how to handle it. This is a Dominican woman from New York, and she about him. She likes him.
She loud.
He's a British guy, so not only does he know about Americans and how they interact romantically, he doesn't know about like Hispanics and how they interact
So
romantically.
you about to get a rude
And it was drawn out for everybody because they're like, Amaya does a lot too much. And one of the other guys, what's his name? The one with Andrina? What's his name? Do you know?
Jacob?
No, Robbie.
Anyway, so the guy that's paired up with Andrina, who
I don't
is
know, he seems
the
so
most
unimportant.
attractive bombshell
Okay.
in the he lays it out for everyone. He's like, guys, you telling her to meet you guys halfway because she does too much. Well, how we do it in our culture, that's just how we are. So you guys got to do it too and not be freaked out. You guys just got to understand. Keep in mind, nobody communicated to her. They just talk shit behind her back. And so they do this in Love Island UK, where if someone's piling on, they hop on the end, and no disrespect, man, they try to be honest. They view that as like a courtesy. I'm being honest to you.
So letting out.
When you see an emotional Dominican woman getting piled on, don't do that. And he does it. He does it. He's like, yeah, like it's just a bit much, yeah. And she snaps on him. She like just goes off and she's like, nah, I don't want to talk to you right now. And I'm like, get him.
She rolling some R's and everything, huh?
I don't know. I was just more focused on like bro getting cooked, because bro was like,
Oh, he was
shocked. No, like
maybe I
genuinely-
made a mistake.
he was shocked. He was like, So I give him grace on that front because I'm like, no, his social understanding of romance completely different. But Amaya, man, I hope she gets voted off so she can find a quality dude.
She serves happiness, huh?
She deserves so much more than any of the garbage in that villa. Genuinely.
What's going on?
So now you know all the drama. That's where things have left off.
Hey, listen.
Next episode.
How deep? How many episodes in we got?
We have
12?
one more week.
We have one more week, then it's the
We're at
finale.
episode 27 tonight.
It comes out tonight. We're watching it right after.
Hey, good thing tomorrow's, July 4th.
Oh,
No
and
good
we also got to vote on our favorite Islander, and the bottom three are gonna be in danger of going home tonight.
Yes.
So I gotta catch up soon.
So
Yes.
everyone's hoping that it's Shelly, Elandria, and Sierra. At the
Okay, so
bottom.
the mean girl.
So I don't know. I hope Sierra and Nick make it so that they can get voted out in the final three. I just hope that they make it far enough so that they can lose. That's all I want. I want them to crash and burn so hard on national TV, international TV at that.
Yeah.
I want not Coco. She left. Clark and Taylor to win. I want them to win so bad. And I think by default, it's just gonna be like, who else is a couple?
Iris and TJ.
Iris and TJ. I didn't even mention either of them because
Because
they
there's
have,
nothing to mention.
they have the
no
entertainment
personality.
value of a jug of milk,
It's
man. Like it
boring.
they're boring white people. That's like their whole thing. They're very attractive, both of them. They're very attractive.
Dry.
TJ came in and all the girls were like, and Iris came in and caused Huda to crash out. So-
So situation.
But the problem is that they both are boring. They didn't even go up to the podium. That's how boring they
Because
are.
don't have nothing to say.
No, nothing to say about it.
I'll
Yeah.
just stay over there. I don't got.
So I think they'll make it by default. They're not gonna win. I hope Taylor and Clark win, and I hope Sierra and Nick just crash and burn. Bad people.
So we're that room for Chris and Huda?
I don't think they have a chance.
They don't have
I
a chance because I think they're
wouldn't
too new.
I wouldn't
Okay.
mind if they made it to the finals. but I
On
don't
top
think
of that,
No.
Huda got a lot of hate, and honestly, I'm still kind of a Huda hater. Like I have a mixed feelings about Huda because I'm like she plays the game real well, but she was a real piece of shit in the beginning. And I mean, like, enough for me to still be like, nah, she shouldn't win. Like, the way she treated Jeremiah, someone who I wasn't a fan of, was just unacceptable.
Okay.
And everyone just watched. And low-key blamed Jeremiah for it. Like, it was
What do you
really
mean
bad.
low-key? High-key blame Jeremiah
High-key
for
blamed
it.
Jeremiah for it and just excused Hutta's BS. Because, again, the clique was conspiring to get all the good players out. And Hutta being a horrible component, it's perfect to have in the villain.
That's great. Okay.
It could go either way though, because before this last episode, people were projecting for Sierra and Nick to win Love Island,
And now everyone hates him.
and now it's all completely flipped. So
Alandria, Sierra, and Shelly lost like 200K subscribers or followers minimum in a night. In a night.
What?
No, it was that
It's
was a lot.
and Amaya gained like 1 million.
Yeah, Amaya the fan favorite now.
Jeremiah gained a lot too, and he wasn't
Jeremiah
even
gained a
there.
lot,
Yeah.
but that's because Jeremiah's he lost gracefully. I think Jeremiah, I didn't like him because he didn't know how to play properly. Therefore, I think he came off as someone who wasn't really there to find love, but he was trying to play the game, which is fine. If he had come in as a bombshell, or if he came in during Casa Amor, I guarantee you he'd win.
This is a lot of information right here. This all sounds great. So clearly, if you haven't watched Love Island, definitely give it a watch.
Hop on it.
Peacock.
Pay for it.
Illegal sites. Let's get it for the free ski. Okay, it's getting rough out here.
I want next season to be just as horrible, if not worse, than this one. So pay for the damn subscription so they can pay for the damn show.
Nah, illegal sites. I'm not really a Love Island lover like that, but this right here, I'm gonna have to check it out, tune it in.
Boy, I have a problem with that.
The problem what?
I grew up black, Bachelor Nation.
You said black? What? Whoa.
I could have.
HR.
Could have.
I grew up Bachelor Nation.
HR,
Please.
I grew up in Bachelor Nation.
What? We're at number 26 now. I need your help.
And then I
was
moved
funny.
on to Love Island. I have what people call a fixation on this stuff. I cannot stop. I am under no spells that these are good people or this is quality TV. I know it's garbage. I cannot stop. This is a problem that I have. Granted, we're still going to talk about it in the episodes. I love
I'm not
it.
saying it's bad. It sounds like quality content. I'm not gonna lie to you. All I'm saying is that HR is failing the show. Clearly, we got a problem here.
Gosh, you're doing all right.
No, what?
You got a problem.
I'm about to crash. Ooh.
Hey guys, thanks for watching another episode of No Mask Required. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, see what you want us to do in the future.
And check out our socials. We got TikTok, Instagram, obviously YouTube, Twitter. No Mask Required. All the handles.